Sports West, the heart of the fan.
Ohtani showed what he's made of. He's absolutely one of the best players to ever play, if not the best player to ever play the game.
Words cannot do Shohei Ohtani justice.
Got him swinging!
Every week, he does something more incredible.
And there it is. Shohei Ohtani goes all 9.
First career complete game shutout for the Unicorn.
Every day, he reaches a new pinnacle.
Back to Wachikawa's chance on. This is 40.
He is simply the Spectacular Shohei.
Sensational day in Southern California. Today's game 1 of our doubleheader brought to you by Jack in the Box. A full Shohei spectacle as the Los Angeles Angels take on the Cincinnati Reds. With Mark Gubicza, I'm Wayne Randazzo, and Gooby. Well, the last time we saw Shohei pitch the front end of a doubleheader, it turned into a pretty special day.
Yeah, Wayne, that was unbelievable what he did in Detroit, going out there back in July where he threw his first career shutout, complete game, only gave up 1 hit, 8 punch-outs a game, 111 pitches, 71 of them strikes. He had everything work. I love his fastball that day, but also the defense behind him because he was working quickly. He went through 6 innings, only 66 pitches. Originally, then in game 2, doing Shohei things again. Home run going the other way, 16th time in his career. He's had a 2-home run game, and then he had a mammoth shot to right center field. And keep in mind, he threw a shutout in game 1 and hits 2 home runs in game 2. The first player ever to do that in Major League Baseball history, to throw a shutout and then hit a home run in game 2. So I'm phenomenal. Expect something magical again today.
And Shohei Ohtani will pitch game 1 of this doubleheader against the Cincinnati Reds. So somebody wake up Rick Wise. Make sure he's watching this one as Shohei goes at the Reds here today in this day-night doubleheader from Angel Stadium. Shohei Ohtani on the mound when we come back.
Quick Pitch has you covered, packing all the day's biggest plays into one lightning-fast hour.
What a play!
We live today, preview tomorrow on Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network.
See it.
He struck him out. It's out of here.
Feel it.
I can't wait for this game to start.
He took a home run away.
Leave it.
That is as good as it gets.
The big plays. The beauty of sports is when the hero comes through.
Yeah, the tense moments.
We have an update we must show you. He's done it again.
With live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
That might be what it takes to win.
MLB Tonight on MLB Network.
The power of baseball goes beyond the field.
What an exciting time.
Stand up,
Together.
pitchers in baseball. One man can do it all. Unmatched power and dominant arm with an electric fastball. The other is the fastest man in the sport. His speed can change the game at any moment. Ohtani versus De La Cruz for the first time. It is going to be quite a day here at Angel Stadium. At Shohei Ohtani, who hasn't pitched in 2 weeks, will be on the mound for the Halos today opposite Elly De La Cruz and the Cincinnati Reds. Cincinnati won the opener of this series last night, and we saw the full experience from Elly De La Cruz in a game where he didn't even have a hit. He was an impact player for the Reds in that one last night. So we'll see how Shohei and the Angels can combat the speed of the Cincinnati Reds and Elly De La Cruz today, as the Angels will take the field here in a moment wearing their City Connect uniforms with the beach vibes on this Wednesday afternoon. The Reds lineup here today under manager David Bell is similar to yesterday, although moving some parts around with Joey Votto DHing instead of playing first. Encarnacio Strand is at first base instead. We'll see Nick Martini play in a big league game for the first time in a couple of years. But the two kids who grew up rooting for the Angels, Matt McLain and Spencer Steer, they both had big hits in the game last night. McLain hit a home run and Steer an RBI double, both playing at Angel Stadium as big leaguers for the first time. And they brought a good sizable number of friends and family, and then did some damage against the team that they love.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun here. Shohei Ohtani against this young group of hitters here for Cincinnati. They've been patient. We talked about that yesterday, as far as they're not a team that's been chasing a lot or going out there being overly aggressive, but you think you have to be against Shohei because you don't want to fall behind in counts. He's got so many great secondary pitches that it's going to be fun to see how they react. And our Coors Light beating the pressure. Shohei Ohtani, what he has done, swinging the bat when he's been on the mound this season. 364 batting average, slugging at 688 and OPS. 1173 with 6 home runs on the day he pitches. Shohei Ohtani helping himself, doing the job at the plate, and obviously doing the stuff on the mound.
Shohei Ohtani leads the Angels onto the field on a picture-perfect afternoon here in Southern California. Blue skies, sun's out, and the Angels in those beach vibe City Connect uniforms, looking sharp on a Wednesday afternoon against the Reds.
My go-tos for Shohei to have a great game here today in a game one of a doubleheader. Get those swing and misses on his sweeper. 71 strikeouts on a sweeper, and empower the fastballs up and down. 54 strikeouts between his four seam and his sinking fastball. That sets up that sweeper when he's going up and down with his fastball, especially getting up there in average just under 70 miles per hour on his fastball. In our East and East defense behind Shohei Ohtani today, Brandon Jory playing first base, 23rd start at first base this season. He's been involved in turning 13 double plays, 1,000 fielding percentage there. He's had 62 career starts at first base. Benito at second. Velasquez, who covered a lot of ground yesterday on pop-ups at shortstop. Escobar getting a start at third. Ohapi behind the plate. Grichuk, Moniak, and Renfroe again back out in the outfield for the Halos today. This is always fun when Shohei Ohtani's on the bump. The fans, just watching and talk to a lot of fans earlier today. I mean, it's the excitement level coming in. The team stores, everyone buying jersey with Shohei's name on it. It's going to be fun here this afternoon.
Well, he is the spectacular Shohei, the unicorn, and it's funny to see the video board right now with the feature presentation, and Shohei Ohtani is certainly that. It is showtime here at Angel Stadium, and as far as Ohtani, the pitcher, is concerned, well, he has not allowed an earned run over his last 19 innings of work. It started with that one-hit shutout against the Tigers in game one of the doubleheader in July at Comerica Park. He worked 4 scoreless innings against the Mariners August 3rd and 6 innings without giving up an earned run in his last start against the Giants on August 9th. It's been a while since we've seen him pitch. He was having those blister issues, but he's back on the mound today. And TJ Friedl leads off for the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch, ball 1 from Ohtani on a fastball. And we are underway for the first of 2 games today. It's a split doubleheader. The night game will be played at 6:30. And this one underway right now, the second of this 3-game series.
And the key is be able to that fastball downstairs. He's just trying to get into that groove where you'll see the velocity picked up as the game progresses, but that sets up that sweeper and even his cutter and splitter down.
Two balls and a strike on Friedel. There's a lot of speed at the top of the order and has some pop too. He's hit 11 home runs. We talked a lot about his bunting yesterday, the major league leader in bunt base hits, but he can run into one too. Really a table setter for these Reds. He grounds this one softly to Luis Rengifo, playing second base today. And that's the first out of the ballgame.
A real good spot on that sweeper. You didn't even hear that sound hardly off the bat. And my Hyundai key for the game today, the grand illusion. Go little sticks. Shohei Ohtani just keeping these hitters guessing throughout the entire game. Lucas Giolito did a great job of throwing that changeup and off-speed pitch to have them guessing, and there's no one better than having a hitter guess than Shohei Ohtani on the mound. So the grand illusion with Shohei on the bump.
I appreciate you going with sticks. That was great.
I have to do that for you, Wayne.
Oh, thank you. Here's Matt McClain. He would appreciate something more LA based. He went to UCLA after attending Beckman High School in Irvine, California, not too far from Angels Stadium, and he grew up a big Angels fan. Mentioned that McClain played Little League in Tustin. He actually played with Rex Hudler's son. They were on the same team together in Little League. So the families are actually very close. Rex Hudler keeps a close eye on Matt McClain's big league progress. And there's a strike to McClain. 2 balls and 1 strike.
He's trying to see how Shohei, it's been a while since he's been on the mound. You want to see that release point for him, how comfortable he is on the mound. The bottom line is when you look at Shohei, you look for that balance over the pitching rubber, the drive towards home plate.
See if this stays in play for Drury. Reaches over into the Reds dugout and couldn't quite reach. A good effort by Brandon Drury.
He got to that right towards the dugout. He's got some former teammates in there. At one point or another, they were there to make sure they protected him somewhat there, just in case he did go into the dugout. But good effort there by Brandon Drury, playing first base here today.
Swing and a miss. McClain goes after a ball in the dirt. Shohei has his first strikeout today.
So he's used his sweeper so far. He throws a splitter. See how that just tumbles straight down. Perfect pitch. This is what you came to the ballpark to see right here and right now. Shohei Ohtani versus De La Cruz.
This will be a fun matchup. 1 away, rather 2 away here in the top of the first. And here is Elly De La Cruz. Hasn't really lit it up from an offensive standpoint in terms of just his bat. But when you combine his bat with his speed, well, he's a dynamic offensive player. And eventually, if he starts to hit at the way that teams and people believe that he is capable of, well, this guy could be an MVP candidate before you know it. And here he is as a rookie. Elly De La Cruz, just 21 years old. He has been a game changer, really a franchise changer for the Cincinnati Reds, maybe similar to the way that Adley Rutschman was for Baltimore.
I mean, he can create so many runs. He's outstanding defensively. Just the energy he brings. By the way, how about Shohei so far in this at bat? A 71-mile-an-hour curveball, a backdoor sweeper at about 79, and a fastball at 94.
1 ball, 2 strikes on De La Cruz. Was hit for the cycle this year. He's had a 3 stolen base inning this year as well. Loops this one foul. I don't even know if he'll have the most Rookie of the Year votes on his own roster, as Shohei really slowed him down with that last curveball.
68-mile-an-hour curveball. Wow, that had some serious vertical drop. Remember that earlier in the season against MJ Melendez for the Kansas City? He had one about 73-inch vertical drop. That was pretty close to it there.
De La Cruz lays off the splitter. That's how Ohtani struck out Matt McClain. And that's 2 balls, 2 strikes. The strikeout of McClain was number 166 for Shohei, and in a sport that really likes round numbers, There's something to be said about striking out 200 hitters. There's number 167. Ellie De La Cruz strikes out against Shohei. And maybe there will be a 200 strikeout, 40 homer season. There's another strikeout. Ellie De La Cruz goes down against Shohei.
Create amazing work with Fiverr. All you need is your team and a talented freelancer who will lend a hand and seamlessly join your team from just about anywhere. Expand your team with a Fiverr freelancer.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy.
What?
And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too.
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive. But here's the secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers. Like we do. Oh, hi. We're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You could try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Buick GMC as Shohei Ohtani, the starting pitcher for the Angels today, bats second with his 1065 OPS that leads the major leagues. Brandon Drury is playing first base today. We saw Logan O'Hoppy's first home run since coming back from the IL yesterday, as he is the starting catcher for Shohei against the Reds rookie. Another rookie for them that's done a good job this year, left-hander Andrew Abbott.
He's throwing the ball really well. An ERA under 3, especially when you pitch a lot of your games in that ballpark. And Cincinnati is impressive. It's a 1-1-2 whip. Not a lot of traffic against him this season. He's given up 11 home runs in 81 1/3.
First pitch, ball 1 to Luis Rengifo. Abbott 6 foot. 192 pounds, not a big guy, 24 years old, out of the University of Virginia. He's had some start to his major league career. Look at the moves from Bill Hasselman over there.
And he had that hip replacement. Defense behind Abbott here today, and you got Matt McLean, who's been really good at second base. 982 fielding percentage, turned 12 double plays. It's a couple errors this season. You got De La Cruz there right behind him there at shortstop too. So they got some guys that can cover a lot of ground, a lot of speed. Just watching him throw across the diamond. Both of them up the middle. You got that defense up the middle, like the Friedel out in center field, steer over at third base also.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Rengifo. I wonder if Abbott maybe has hit a wall here over his last 4 starts. His ERA above 6 in his last 4 outings. 2-2 on Rengifo. He's thrown 135 innings this year. That's the most he has thrown in his life over the course of a baseball season. I wonder about Abbott down the stretch here.
Sometimes when you're not overpowering, then you try to create better velocity. When you see that go down, that's when you start making mistakes, Wayne, and I think that's what's happened. His fastball is going to be 91, 96. He'll throw a sweeper, he'll throw a curveball, and a changeup. But you don't feel like you have that velocity on your fastball, you try to overthrow, and that's going to affect your other pitches too.
He walks Luis Rengifo to start the day, so a base runner in front of Shohei Ohtani, who will bat against the left-hander Abbott.
It's always a plus for Shohei to have some traffic in front of him. You also have a first baseman. Could Asher Strand be able to have to hold on Rengifo at first base to give that hole open. De La Cruz is pretty close to that second base bag, although he's moving a little bit away from it. A lot of room down the third base line for Shohei.
There's a rocket, right field, way back, long gone, number 44. Shohei Ohtani, spectacular as he reclaims Major League Baseball's home run lead.
sometimes the best way to describe Shohei is in one word. Just wow. Shohei Ohtani, 115.7 miles per hour exit velocity on a home run. Remember, he punched out 2 in the top of the first, and then he hits a home run like that quickly out of the ballpark. Number 44, 91 RBIs on the season. He is absolutely unbelievable. And Ippei. There you go, Ippei.
Shohei doesn't like wearing the kabuto on the days that he pitches. So Ippei gets a turn, strolling through the dugout. Did he break it?
That went 442 feet.
That was a rocket. That was about as hard of a home run as he's hit all year. That's only the second homer Abbott's allowed to a lefty. Christian Yelich hit one in July. Abbott has dominated left-handers this year.
Yeah, left-handers what? 155?
With a 170 on-base percentage. But now he's met Shohei.
The spectacular one. Unreal.
A 2-0 start for the Angels against Abbott. And Brandon Drury strikes out for the first out of the inning.
I mean, this swing right here, he stays on that pitch and threw the baseball. Nice launch angle there, too, for Shohei Ohtani. 115.7 exit velo. With that launch angle, you know that baseball is going a long way. And number 44, all you can do is just smile and go, wow. And, of course, Ippei. That makes you even smile even more so.
I mentioned with Shohei's 2 strikeouts in the first inning that he has 167 on the mound this year. And now 44 home runs. So if he gets to 200 strikeouts, I mean, think about the possibilities here of a player, one player, that could hit 50 home runs in a season and strike out 200 opposing hitters. It's an absurdity. It's the greatest season in baseball history.
Yes. There's not even a conversation and there's no argument. And you can't win that argument.
1-2 on Logan O'Hoppe. Guide Shohei on the mound today after Shohei struck out 2 hitters in the top of the first and then blasted a 2-run homer in the bottom of the first.
We're reminiscing that game that you remember against the White Sox. His first start where he threw a pitch 100 miles an hour, a couple strikeouts, and he hit a home run. I think I was about 114, 115 miles per hour off the bat.
Hard hit grounder by O'Hoppe. Throw pulls Encarnacion Strand off the bag, but he tags O'Hoppe for the out.
That was April 4th, 2021 for Shohei. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. You punch out 2 and then you hit a 2-run home run like that. Wow.
Here's Randall Grichuk, who has hit well against left-handers this year. Angels would like to see Grichuk get his back going since the trade. He's come over from Colorado, and his offense hasn't been quite the same as it was while he was with the Rockies. You expect that anyway, but Grichuk has hit just 169 with the Angels. Has hit a few home runs, though, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike on Grichuk here. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes on Grichuk.
Still a buzz in this stadium right now after what Shohei just accomplished here just in the first inning. First start back on the mound. Quite a while for Shohei. Last start was August 9th against the Giants, where he picked up a W.
Grichuk hits one well toward right center, but moving after it, Martini gets there. And that ends the first inning. Not a bad first inning for Shohei Ohtani. Strikes out 2, and he drives out a 2-run homer. His 44th of the year. Makes it 2-0.
With Home Chef, you're not just home cooking, you're home winning. Our fast and fresh meal kits are as fast to make as they are fresh to enjoy. When it comes to making dinner, fill in the blanks with Home Chef. Delicious, meat simple.
Get 18 free meals when you sign up at homechef.com.
When the details take precedence, the rest falls perfectly into place. We strip away everything but the essential. And what we're left with are thoughtful bedrooms for modern living. Thuma.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want on the only live TV streaming service rated #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Try free at FuboTV.com.
Sure, you'll teach her to drive a car. Then use Greenlight and teach her to save up for her own car. Mowing lawns and getting paid.
Navigate the world of earning, saving, and investing together.
Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
The first inning was fine. Struck out a couple guys, hit a 2-run homer. Now it's the second inning.
Again, you just never know what to expect from the unicorn.
Ball 1 to Spencer Steer leading off. Shohei with his 44th home run of the year. He has captured the major league lead in that category again. Remember, no Angel has ever led the majors in homers outright over a full season. And on top of that, he is gaining quickly on the single season home run record in Angels history. Troy Gloss hit 47 in 2000. And Shohei knocking on the door now. That's still 5.5 weeks or so left in the season.
I think interesting so far, Wayne. He's thrown quite a few splitters, a couple strikeouts in the first inning on a splitter. He threw a splitter already here to Steer, so he's comfortable throwing that pitch, which is a big pitch for him. When you go back to a couple of years ago, that was the most devastating pitch in baseball.
Falls behind Spencer Steer, 3 balls and 1 strike.
He's telling himself just to stay back a little bit longer. See, he knows his body so well. He knows his mechanics on the mound.
That one not close as Steer draws a walk.
Let's go back to the pitch-by-pitch sequence of De La Cruz. Take a look at our Frontier play sense. Drops a curveball at 71 miles per hour in the strike zone, and then he went sweeper on the back door at 79. Then fastball a little bit late on De La Cruz, 94 miles an hour, and then he drops that curveball at 68. By the way, incredible drop on that pitch. Then the splitter, and then finish them off with a splitter, be able to finish off that at bat. 73.7 inches vertical drop on that 168-mile-an-hour curveball.
Joey Votto goes after the first pitch and pops it up. Andrew Velasquez did some work on pop-ups yesterday and catches that one in shallow left field to retire Votto.
Yeah, he said that one pop-up where he was almost behind second base to cover that ground all the way over when you had Grichuk and Moustakas going for it. He didn't even see that pop-up until the last second, put his glove out and found his glove.
Christian Encarnacion Strand. Nice dig by Ohtani as he pulls that one out of the dirt. Ball 1 to Encarnacion Strand.
Yeah, these two worked so together early in the season, Ohtani and Shohei, even from the first bullpen session in spring training.
Reunited as Ohtani is back from the IL. Two balls, no strikes on Encarnacion Strand, who He's shown a lot of power throughout his professional career. Just 4 homers so far at the major league level.
What a guy to get a double play ball, and Shohei's gotten 16 double plays turned behind him this season.
He's Encarnacion Strand in front of that sweeper, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. 16 double plays induced, among the major league leaders in that category as well. And the most on the Angels. They've turned 84 ground ball double plays as a team. Swing and a miss, the sweeper again.
He's had that working so far, and it hasn't been high velocity on that. He's usually going to be around 83 to 85 on a sweeper. Today so far you're seeing mid to upper 70s. His curveball 68 to 71.
Averaging 79 with his sweeper today in terms of velocity. And trying to get the fastball by Encarnacion Strand, who fought it off. Two balls and 2 strikes.
I think Ippei and Phil Nevin are coming out. Shohei looked in there right away, and they saw and sensed something. We're seeing velocity being down even across the board as far as all his pitches.
And that last pitch, 94 miles an hour. This team can not stay out of the injury department, not stay out of the trainer's room. Mike Frostad has been busy with an Angels ball club that has been going through more injuries than most teams. The last pitch, that fastball in on the hands.
And he looked right in at the dugout. And that's the thing that concerned me right away. And I think that might be it for Shohei.
You can hear the crowd murmur, and Shohei will come out of the game. We've seen this way too many times this year. Shohei leaving the mound with Mike Frostad and Ippei behind him. He only faces 5 hitters, 5.5 with this at bat against Encarnacion Strand. So the Angels will have to use a lot of their bullpen.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort, and it all starts right here with MLB Tonight's first pitch.
Let's go to the ballpark so you get a chance to look around a little bit.
A match between the best teams in the National League going head-to-head. During the games, we take you to the games where you might see a live walk-off. And after the games, we want to hear from the players as bad as you do.
First career walk-off hit. How did that one feel?
Oh, man, it's as good as it gets.
And that's how this team covers every team on MLB Tonight.
This is Garrett Cole. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Garrett Cole plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort. From the first pitch,
let's go to the ballpark,
to live look-ins and post-game reactions.
Tell us how this one feels.
That's how this team covers every team on MLB Tonight. Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort, and it all starts right here with Harold and Adnan on MLB Tonight's first pitch.
Who's ready for baseball?
It's time for the first pitch.
Out of their bullpen, obviously Anderson has been a starter for most of the year, and he'll walk some innings behind Shohei Ohtani today as we see Shohei's last pitch of the day. It's a fastball that ran in on Christian Encarnacion Strand. It was 94 miles an hour. And Shohei kind of looking down at the grip on the baseball and into the Angels dugout. And
as soon as I saw him looking in there, shaking his head, the way he delivered that last pitch, because any pitcher that's ever had any discomfort, whether it's your hand, your elbow, or shoulder, you have a tendency to bring that arm across your body instead of reaching out where you can almost pick up dirt. Watch where he goes across his body quickly there. That tells you that something wasn't feeling right for Shohei. A lot of times, like I said, when your goal as a pitcher, you throw out in front of that front leg where you can almost pick up dirt in front. That's when you're feeling really good as far as that extension on the arm.
Well, his velocity across the board was down about 3 or 4 miles an hour today from his usual velocities. We saw him throw a bunch of slow curveballs. His fastball was down roughly 4 miles an hour. So was his sweeper, cutter about 3.5 miles an hour. Only the splitter was close to its normal velocity. So clearly from the get-go, and you know, it's been 2 weeks since he pitched too, so it's not a total shock to see him go out there and come away with Mike Frostad behind him and Ippei as well, because this is how it's gone lately for Shohei Ohtani anyway. The Angels had Anderson available, considering the days off that the Angels have had. Anderson pitched last on Friday as a starter against the Tampa Bay Rays and threw 81 pitches. So on 4 days rest here, you'd expect Anderson to give you a full allotment of innings. The Angels have that available. An off day coming up tomorrow as well, and then 3 games in New York, 3 in Philadelphia before another off day. So the Angels feel like they can get by here with Anderson pitching out of the bullpen today.
And it's going to take him a while to get warmed up, especially as a starter. And as a guy out of the bullpen, you don't need as many pitches when you're even warming up that game mound. It's always so difficult warming up on the game mound because you feel the impatience of the fans in the stands. You feel like you can get ready quick, but you want to make sure. And then Tyler Anderson's a veteran. He wants to make sure all his secondary pitches are working, not just his fastball, and not have the adrenaline going, saying I'm ready to go.
We'll see if Shohei bats again today, at least in this first game of the doubleheader. We'll find that out soon, as he hit a home run in the bottom of the first. He'd be due up 6th in the second inning, so he'll have his spot in the order come up either in the second or in the third. We'll find out if he is at least still able to hit as he has this whole time. Ohtani has played in virtually every game. This is the Angels' 127th game, and it's the 125th that Shohei has appeared in. He's only missed 2 full games all year. So even with the pain or whatever problems he's had from a pitching standpoint, it has not carried over to his batting. As Encarnacion Strand faces Anderson with a count 2 balls 2 strikes.
Really one of the most competitive people we've ever seen, playing every day, knowing how taxed you can be from pitching alone. Shohei Ohtani has put himself in a position here where he wants to play every day, and how important he is to the team.
Ground ball to third, handled by Escobar, gets it to second for 1. Rengifo to first, 2, a double play. Anderson comes in, gets 2 outs against 1 batter, and ends the top of the second.
It's the Modern Baseball Show for the modern baseball fan. Off Base, with interviews and coverage of baseball's hottest stars.
I've done a couple interviews in my life. This probably is the most fun I've ever been a part of.
Only on MLB Network.
It's like that.
Got him, it stays fair.
Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we give it to you. It's like that. 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 It's like that
Angels have a 2-0 lead, but certainly not the situation that they were hoping for, considering Shohei Ohtani was on the mound and was only able to record 4 outs in this game as he left with the same finger problem that has been bothering him over the last couple of weeks. Shohei has not even pitched. He left the mound with the trainer again. The Angels will try to get by the rest of the day without Shohei pitching. See if he's able to bat when his turn comes up. Right now, the number 6 hitter, Eduardo Escobar, leads off here in the bottom of the second and takes ball 1 from Andrew Abbott.
Boy, as a team right now, you just got to rally behind that. Now that Shohei Ohtani no longer on the mound today, he's going to think of what you got to do to help on the offensive side to keep adding on here.
It's an interesting layer, considering that Shohei is a free agent after the season, and the pitching aspect is just as important as the hitting aspect to him personally and to the team as well. As Escobar fouls one off, and I wonder if, as far as Shohei trying to pitch through whatever persistent problem there has been, how much his pride kind of gets in the way as well as a factor. He wants to be out there to help the team in every possible way. Two balls, 2 strikes. I mean, it's unimaginable. We really don't even know the physical toll that it takes to do both at the level that he does. Nobody's ever done it like that.
Nope. And this talking to a lot of great all-time pitchers, whether it's John Smoltz or David Cohn, and asking them, could you imagine swinging the bat 6 days a week after you pitch, at least once a week? Sometimes you're in the rotation twice a week. And they said no, they could barely move the day after they pitched, let alone trying to hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball and then hitting like he did today even.
This ball, or strike 3 call. Escobar thought that was ball 4. The pitch looked up. But Abbott gets the call, and it's strike 3 to retire Escobar, the second strikeout for Andrew Abbott.
Yeah, that was definitely just above the strike zone.
One away as Hunter Renfroe is the batter. Shohei, over the last 3 seasons, dating back to 2021 when he became this true two-way player, all the games played, the plate appearances, the batters faced, if you look at his number of plate appearances and combine them with the number of batters he's faced, well, it's about 1,000 or so more than the next closest competitor in that regard.
I don't even know if you can make any comparison to any sport. I mean, that would be like somebody on the offensive side, a two-way player in the NFL, which there was quite a few of them back in the 50s and 60s, but nowhere near like that now. It'd be impossible.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Hunter Renfroe. There's so much that goes into it, so much preparation, so much physically and mentally that it takes for Shohei to get himself to do what he does, as Renfroe takes strike 3 call.
And going back to, I mean, you think about it on the pitching side, well, everyone will say, well, he's just DHing. Well, he's running around the base. He's on the base all the time. There's that pitch. That looked like it got the lower part of the strike zone on that sinker there.
Yeah, I mean, he gets on base 40% of the time.
So he's running around the bases, and he's pitching using that lower half. He's not a guy that just throws. He's a guy that uses his lower half a lot. So you're using that bottom part of their body and driving towards the plate like he's a sprinter.
Mickey Moniak fouls a pitch back. Moniak getting a start against the left-hander here in center field. Mike Trout came off the IL yesterday and played in his first game since July 3rd. Moniak behind on Abbott 0-2. Moniak's had a tough time against lefties. There's Trout not in the lineup. That's right down the middle. Strike 3 to Moniak. Andrew Abbott strikes out the side. All 3 looking.
If you love baseball, you need to watch Baseball's show of record, MLB Tonight.
We've got a bunch of games kicking off.
Who gets you ready to start the evening? These guys.
With Harold Reynolds, I'm Adnan Burke. Good to have you with us.
Join Harold and Adnan for a first look at the night's matchups.
Shohei Ohtani. We're going to talk about this guy forever.
First take from the players.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
And the first of many breakdowns.
Let's put this in perspective.
Then, as your game night continues, stay tuned for the ultimate late-night baseball party. With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
MLB Tonight takes you live inside the park.
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
That is awesome.
This one takes the cake. This is going to be a big deal tonight.
Exactly. You can't top that.
MLB Tonight, every night on MLB Network.
Start on the mound just a little bit ago with injury, still eligible as a DH. He popped in the dugout for just a second before returning back underneath. We'll pass along any updates that we might have as soon as we get them. Did want to talk about his battery mate today, Logan Ohtani, who had himself a nice little night last night, his first hit since returning from the injured list, a home run in the game last night. And if you didn't see it, he had a big smile on his face, huge, while he was rounding the bases. It caught Phil Nevin's attention while he was running the bases as well. Called him a little leaguer who just couldn't stop smiling. Now, he did miss a couple home runs, Nevin said, in that first night he returned after the injury. Lucas Giolito also had some pretty high praise for him after the game last night as well. That was the first time.
You make the play, Erica.
Whoa, that was right next to me. I let the professionals handle it. I'm just going to talk, you know, that's what I do. Anyways, Lucas had high praise for Ohtani last night, too. First time working together, said when they were traded, when he was traded over, asked a ton of questions, which is always great to see from a young catcher, picked his brain, how he liked to pitch. So he's looking forward to teaming up with him again. But guys, just really like the smile from Ohtani after that first home run back last night.
Yeah, that was great to see that because he means so much to his team. The energy he brings, he was there the whole time recovering from his surgery on his labrum, but he was there, being around, being part of the process. And these guys love having him around. And you can tell by the way the staff is already smiling themselves, knowing they're going to be able to throw the baseball to Logan Ohtani.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Nick Martini. For all this discussion about the Angels farm system and trades that were made and rankings and all that, well, there have been so many players that have come up this season alone that are a huge part of the future for this franchise. And Ohtani's probably #1 on that list. I mean, there's everything that we've seen from Logan Ohtani suggests he's going to be one of the best catchers in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, his swing, you see the power he already has, but the way he's so quiet behind the plate. That's what I was talking about, being quiet. That means you're not making a lot of noise where you're going inside, outside, be able to get that pitch and keep it out in front, frame it. Tyler Anderson in his career versus Cincinnati's 2-0 with a 3.54 ERA that's covering 24 innings pitched.
Walked Nick Martini, who had not had a big league plate appearance since the end of the 2021 season. And Martini is on here in the top of the 3rd as Will Benson bats. Now some left-handers here in this Cincinnati lineup that might not have been in there had Tyler Anderson been the scheduled starter. The Reds were prepared to face a right-hander today, and for a lot of innings. You normally would think Shohei will pitch 6-7 innings. So here's some lefty-lefty matchups that should favor Anderson. Although he walked Martini, and now he almost hit Benson. Maybe he did.
I think it got his bat, fortunate enough for both Anderson and Benson, because that's one of those spots on the hand where you can have some serious problem right on the knob of the bat.
Yeah, if there was any glue on the bottom of that bat, it would have stuck with the ball right there. That was a clean shot to the knob of the bat. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Will Benson, former first-round pick for Cleveland a number of years ago. Didn't get many chances at the big league level with them. He's made the most of an opportunity with the Cincinnati Reds, and there's been a lot of mention about how the Reds play with a lot of fire. Benson about as fiery as they come. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes on Benson.
So it looks like that when you look at that swing, that was a cutter, it was down. He's pretty good on pitches down. You wonder if you try a 4-seam fastball upstairs, especially on the inner half and up.
Anderson with a check on first on Nick Martini. Three balls and 2 strikes. You know, Martini wasn't such a bad guy until Clarence came around George Bailey.
Yes, he was. Yes. Nick from Martini's. It's a wonderful life.
There's a high fly ball to left center field. Hit pretty well, but hanging up for Moniak. He has some room. And he makes the catch on Benson's fly ball. So 1 away. And holding up at first is Martini, as Luke Maile will be the batter.
Yeah, you always think of, especially in a warm afternoon like this in a day game, the baseball will carry pretty well. Although Shohei shot, you could be in 20-degree weather, that baseball was getting out the way he hit it. But the baseball will carry very, very well here in the afternoon.
Here is Maile, the Reds catcher, shares the catching duties with Tyler Stevenson at the moment. They've had Kurt Casale on their roster as well this year. And these Reds catchers really hit much. Maile batting .246. Stevenson the best bat of the group. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes on Maile. The Reds trying to be a factor in the National League Central and wild card races. Reds are right there in terms of the wild card in the National League, and they've got a shot at the division as well. David Bell's team lost 100 games last year. No team has ever won its division the year after losing 100.
The interesting thing about the Reds, they play better on the road than they have at home so far this year.
Yeah, much better. Cincinnati is 34-27 on the road, and they're 3 games under 500 at Great American Ballpark. There's a swing and a miss by Maile as Anderson has his first strikeout.
If they're throwing a fastball upstairs, he gets a changeup. Upstairs, it gets a strikeout. This changeup is really good. It's usually down.
So 2 outs, and the batter Friedel, who grounded out. It was against Shohei Ohtani, who started this game and only was able to complete 5 at bats on the mound. We'll see if he hits in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He's due up second as Friedel lines to Renfroe. Shohei is due up. We'll see if he takes his at bat in the bottom of the 3rd.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
Sunday on the next episode of MLB's Carded. Join Greg Amsinger for a look at all things cardboard, from vintage to modern. We've got it covered. MLB's Carded, Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network.
The power of baseball goes beyond the field.
What an exciting time.
Stand up, Japan. We are Jackie Robinson.
Together.
Ohtani hit an absolute rocket. 442 feet, his major league leading 44th home run of the year. And as we see Burger King's ruling the plate, well, Shohei is back on top of the major league lead. Let's see if he ends up the major league leader. He'll need to stay healthy enough to take his at-bats, and it doesn't look like he's going to hit here in the bottom of the third. As Andrew Velasquez leads off against Abbott and takes a strike. Nolan Shonowell, the rookie who came up on Friday straight out of the draft basically to the big leagues, is waiting in that spot at the top of the dugout. So it looks like Shonowell will bat for Shohei.
And under most circumstances this entire year, whenever Shohei has come out of the game, he still has swung the bat.
Two balls and a strike on Andrew Velasquez. Ball hit well toward the left field corner. That's a base hit, bouncing to the wall. Extra bases for Velasquez. He has a leadoff double here in the third.
Chance now with a leadoff double to be able to get yourself in position to add on here now with an early 2-0 lead. Swing there, put himself in position to get a pitch. It's four-seam fastball in the inner half, and he drops the barrel of bat, lines that for a double third of the season for Velasquez.
The Angels are calling it arm fatigue that has taken Shohei out of the game. There's a drive to left center field by Rengifo. Moving after it and unable to reach it is Benson. As that ball goes to the wall, Benson then throws a long dart toward the relay man. That allows Velasquez to come all the way around. He scores. It's back-to-back doubles. Luis Rengifo drives in a run, and it's 3-0 Angels.
Baseball was hit hard. That's a changeup. It was upstairs. After Velasquez hit his ball 104.6 miles per hour, Rengifo crushes that double. As he tried to get in, I think Hasselman was thinking about maybe holding him there. And then that throw straight into the ground in the outfield as he slips as he tried to follow through to get it to the cutoff man.
And threw that ball about 15 feet.
That's a good read there by Velasquez. You might be thinking, home, he's got to be going. You don't know if he's going to catch it or not. You want to get in position. If he does catch it, you tag up and go to third. You could still score like he did. Good base running by Velasquez. And a great swing from Rengifo.
Now it's Shonowell. As he takes ball one. This is Shohei's spot in the order. So this arm fatigue that has come up for Shohei Ohtani, not only removing him from the game as a pitcher, but as a hitter as well. It'd be even more amazing to consider how hard and far he hit the ball in the first inning against Abbott. Shohei absolutely crushed a 442-foot home run.
I'm just impressed with how much velocity he got off the bat there after two punch-outs in the top of the first. Being saying, you're just hoping and praying that everything is going to be all right for Shohei to get back out there as soon as possible.
The Reds will have a discussion on how to pitch to Shonowell, and we'll have a quick word from Hyundai.
Get away with a great deal only at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
The Angels have hit Andrew Abbott pretty well here. 3 runs, 3 hits. All 3 hits have been extra base hits. And Shonowell in place of Shohei has a 4-game hitting streak to start his major league career. Last Angel to begin his big league career with a 5-game streak was Kendrys Morales in 2006. The franchise record. David Eckstein had a 9-game hitting streak to start his major league career in 2001.
Shonowell has been really good when you look at his splits in the minor leagues. He hits left-handed pitching very well.
He hit over 360 against lefties in the minors, and he walks a lot. He draws ball 4 from Andrew Abbott. The first 3 Angels have reached here in the 3rd. 1 has already scored. The batter now will be Brandon Drury. Game 2 of the doubleheader tonight, a 6:30 start. That's the game to make up for the postponement on Monday. This game is starting at the time it was supposed to. This was originally a day game to end the series, and the night game added to finish it up instead. The Angels are off tomorrow, so they will head to New York tomorrow. Throw to first, and safely back is Shonowell on a close play.
It was a design play too, when you saw that, especially just getting into the game, going to get that bigger secondary lead, but a smart play.
He's out.
I might take a look at that one. Yep. He's trying to go to that back part of the bag. If he gets his thumb in there first, no, it doesn't look like he did.
Shonowell, who made an error that was costly yesterday.
Cincinnati is challenging the safe call at first base.
He's about to be picked off of first. At least that's how it looked on the replay. He was way off the bag. Encarnacion Strand sneaking in behind as he took the throw from Luke Maile, and the tag on the finger just before that hand was getting to the bag. Can't really tell from that angle, but from the other angle behind first base, this one, you could see that the glove and that pinky finger made contact.
Yeah, and he did everything right as far as going the back part of the bag. It's a longer tag, especially for a right-handed throwing first baseman. He's showing that up on the scoreboard. If you want to show that a number of times.
Upon review, the call in the field is overturned. Runner is out. Cincinnati retains their challenge.
That's certainly how it looked after seeing the replay. Shonowell is picked off by Luke Maile. So 1 out, and Rengifo still at second base. The count 1 ball, 1 strike on Drury. Drury struck out his first time. He's homered in 3 straight games. And drives this ball deep toward the left field corner. It's hooking. And it is a foul ball as Drury nearly made it a 4th straight game with a home run. He's had a good season. Brandon Drury's hit 18 homers in 91 games this year. Kia player profile as Drury homered in both ends of the doubleheader Saturday against Tampa Bay and went deep last night.
I mean, when you look where he's hitting home runs, center field, right center field, he's staying on the baseball a lot longer with a lot of power the other way. That's impressive.
Pops this one up. It will stay on the infield for Encarnacion Strand. And he makes the catch after a battle with the high sky. So 2 outs. Drury had 20 homers in 92 games for the Reds last year. It was really sort of a reemergence for Brandon Drury, who had some good seasons early in his career for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then all those concussion issues, and so kind of felt like he lost his swing in the meantime as well. It was more like migraines than concussions, but he was just not himself. Had a nerve issue in his neck that caused the migraines. So after showing a lot of promise early in his career, it kind of evaporated for Drury. But these last 2 seasons, he has certainly bounced back into being a very solid major league player.
I think part of it too, when you look at the home runs he hits right center, right in center field, he got caught up in that launch angle especially when he was with the Jays. He was trying to hit everything deep in the air and get underneath the baseball. So a lot of pop-ups. Now he's staying through the baseball and a little bit less of a launch angle to stay harder on the baseball and driving it the other way.
Last year, Drury was a Silver Slugger winner as a utility player, something that had not been given out until last season. So he was the first person to win that in the National League, and maybe has got a shot to win it in the American League as well, considering all the different positions he's played, although mostly second base. He's playing first today, and here's O'Hoppe with a fly ball left center field. Friedel is back near the wall, makes the catch. Angels get a run, an RBI double from Rengifo to make it 3-0.
It's like that.
Got him, it stays fair.
Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we give it to you. It's like that.
It's the Modern Baseball Show for the modern baseball fan. Off Base, with interviews and coverage of baseball's hottest stars.
I've done a couple interviews in my life. This probably is the most fun I've ever been a part of.
Only on MLB Network. This is Christopher Russo. This is Joey Votto. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Christopher Russo plays hard, so he doesn't end up here.
Must be nice to sit atop that Madison Avenue ivory tower, looking down on us with those luscious locks. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a disgrace.
High Heat with Christopher Russo.
It took me the last 2 weeks prepping for this interview. I didn't realize how much I love you. You are the best.
On MLB Network.
The Angels take on the Guardians. The first 25,000 fans will receive a Mike Trout hockey jersey, courtesy of Bally Sports West. For more info, angels.com/promotions.
It's amazing. It's already a Ducks night here at the stadium. In the afternoon game.
I heard the Ducks.
Yes.
I don't know where those Ducks were coming from. Oh, they have great sound effects here. Tyler Anderson deals ball one, or maybe it was real Ducks. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Could have
really.
been.
Could have been.
Rumor has it.
Matt McLain leads off here in the top of the fourth. Struck out his first time. There's ball two. There's a hard hit ball. McLain has another base hit.
De La Cruz coming to the plate. Let's take a look at his speed last night, how quickly he got from first to home in those strides. Outstanding speed, good read, cutting those angles, get there quicker. Take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud, how quickly he was able to get around those bases at that elite speed from first to home, getting there in that quick a time. Unbelievable for De La Cruz. Over 9 seconds. That is unreal how fast. His sprint speed and his strides.
He's a switch hitter too, don't forget. He's batting right-handed here against Tyler Anderson.
Well, that StatCast stuff where you can measure how quick somebody can get around the bases like that too. You don't always get that exit velocity in the home runs, the distance, and obviously the pitching and the angles, but to see that base running it's cool to see.
De La Cruz from the right side of the plate this year has not hit nearly as much as he has hit left-handed. He only has 2 RBIs as a right-handed hitter this year. He's only hit 1 home run. So most of his damage offensively has come left-handed. You see this tall, lean, incredible talent wearing number 44 in a Reds uniform. How could you not think of Eric Davis?
You talk about someone who could run and play outstanding defense out in center field. I mean, he was an incredible player.
He's still around the Reds organization. He has actually struck up a friendship with Elly De La Cruz, maybe kind of even a mentorship that Eric Davis has with Elly De La Cruz. So they've become close over the last couple of years. Really, this has been a breakout for De La Cruz only in the last couple of years. Last season in the minor leagues is when he really got on everybody's radar. You know, hadn't played a game in the U.S. until 2021. He swings and misses here and strikes out. Tyler Anderson punches out De La Cruz. So 1 out here in the 4th. And here's Long Beach, California's Spencer Steer, who has a whole bunch of friends and family at the ballpark today, and a lot of kids from Milliken High School here to watch Spencer Steer. That's where Steer went. There you go, Milliken baseball.
Rams, I can see a number of them earlier today. Super excited to be at the ballpark here to see Steer, and of course cheer on their Angels also.
There's been a number of big leaguers out of Milliken High School. Maybe the most notable was Craig Swan, the former New York Mets pitcher, who had a brief stint with the Angels in 1984. Swan led the National League in ERA that year, or rather in 1978 he did with the New York Mets. He's probably number 1 on the list, although Spencer Steer is certainly making his mark now as well. So it goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Steer said he loved being so close to Angel Stadium as a kid. He got to come out and watch Garrett Anderson play, and then Mike Trout. It's from Milliken High School. Maybe a foul ball was headed their way as Steer punched that one foul. 3 balls and a strike now, so Hoppy throws behind McLean. It's a great story for both of these young players on the Reds. They grew up around the area and both grew up Angels fans, Steer and McLean. Three balls and a strike. McLean's at first. And Steer swings and misses to make the count 3-2.
A little over aggressive on that changeup. There's so much talent in the Orange County area, baseball wise, from the high school level to college level. It's unbelievable. See how many guys are in the major leagues that play baseball down here. It's unreal.
There's certainly no shortage of it. 3-2. Steer lines one to right center field. That's a base hit. McLean will take third. The first 2 hits in this game for the Reds have come here in the 4th inning. It's the 2 local kids, McLean and Steer, that have helped put the runners on the corners for Cincinnati, with Joey Votto coming out.
He stayed on that baseball after the changeup was below the zone. He swung at 3-1 and stayed on that and lines at the right center. The approval. There's fans out here today.
You can certainly appreciate that, with the local kids cheering on the local kids that have made it. Pretty cool and pretty inspirational for those young men to see guys like Matt McLean and Spencer Steer here at Angel Stadium. Now Votto with a little bouncer. This will score a run. Escobar gets it to first to retire Votto as McLean scores, and the Reds get on the board as it's now 3-1. Well, for more on the local flavor of baseball around Orange County, here's Erica Weston.
Guys, I know you talked on the broadcast yesterday about Matt McLean and how much he idolized Mike Trout growing up. He was asked about that before the game, and he said, I hope he hits one right to me so I can catch it. Then, lo and behold, Trout's first at bat, a pop-up right to him. He said he was thinking about that right when the ball came to him, and then hitting that home run over Mike Trout's head. He said it was such a special night for him. And then you got all of the friends and family that were in the seats for him as well. A special night for the local kid and Matt McLean.
Well, why didn't he drop the ball then? He was just thinking about it. Why didn't he let Mike get on base? That's what we wanted to see.
I mean, what a thrill for him to be here, especially in this ballpark, to be able to play against his idol Mike Trout too.
It takes a lot to get these young men to the big leagues. We're watching El Segundo in the Little League World Series. And those kids with big league dreams a long way away. You never know how it shakes out. Brings up a good point about Matt McLean's dad, who took over the Little League team that Matt played for at Tustin Eastern Little League. Just wanted the boys to have fun, eat hot dogs, enjoy the icy machine they had at Tustin Little League. Didn't want it to be about all the pressure of trying to be a professional baseball player one day. It's so far away for kids, even if they have talent, to take those steps and play through high school ball or travel ball or whatever and get an opportunity to be into professional baseball. So when they're kids, you got to let them just enjoy the game, love playing it. It's a wild pitch that sends Steer to third.
You're going to have someone covered home plate there also. There's Brandon Drury coming in.
He would be an incredible running back if he could run through all those Angels to try to score. There were 5 guys right there.
Well, he might be able to steer his way through. He tries to keep that as close as possible.
Three balls and 2 strikes on Christian Encarnacion Strand. And that's ball 4. So Anderson walks him. That'll bring up the left-handed batting Nick Martini, who walked his first time.
I mean, I got a chance to talk to a bunch of the kids from Milliken, and then they asked what words of advice. I said, the bottom line is, you know, everyone wants to play Division I baseball or get a chance to play professional baseball, but that opportunity to have teammates in the high school level and just that friendship you will create and that bond you'll create as a team trying to do some special things, that's what you take on and take with the rest of your lives. I mean, there's so many kids. I'll see a number when I go back to Philadelphia when the Angels play the Phillies. And high school teammates of my baseball team, we still talk together because those friendships you've created all those years ago. That's exactly what you're going to have here for these kids now.
There's a long fly ball from Nick Martini, sending Moniak back. He's there, and he makes the catch to end the inning. A run for the Reds as they get closer. The Angels still have the lead.
Let's talk about sex. As you get a little older, things tend to work a little differently.
I felt shame, embarrassment, guilt.
Like something had been knocked out from underneath me. What HIMS does is says, hey, look, don't worry about it. We got this part covered. 100% online.
The whole process was very discreet.
It made me feel like I'm a rock star.
This product has changed my life.
When it kicked in, I said, yeah, I'm back. I remember this feeling.
Get started today at 4hims.com.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy.
What?
And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too.
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive. But here's a secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers. Like we do. Oh, hi, we're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You can try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Shohei Ohtani started this game on the mound. He struck out a couple of hitters in the top of the first, including Elly De La Cruz. Then he launched a home run, crushed one off of Andrew Abbott in the bottom of the first. But Shohei left the game due to arm fatigue, was not able to continue pitching, and as it turns out, is unable to continue batting as well. He's been replaced on both ends. As Randall Grichuk looks at a strike, and it certainly carries a cloud over this game so far as the Angels have the lead.
I mean, this is the difference when you feel in the crowd. That's the excitement level when he strikes out 2 in the top of the first, and it's a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first. This is going to electric the crowd here on a warm afternoon, sunny afternoon. Game 1 of a doubleheader.
Think about what's still on the table for Shohei is chasing the Angels single season home run lead, trying to lead the major leagues in home runs. There's his free agency case after the season as well. So there's a lot ahead for Shohei Ohtani, and he and the Angels both would like to see him finish this season as strongly as possible. Randall Grichuk with a count, 2 balls, 2 strikes, leading off here in the bottom of the 4th.
Hit the ball well as first at bat, line down to right field.
Full count now on Grichuk.
Already 2 walks in this game for Abbott.
Fouls that one back. Bounty quick stats. 2 strikeouts as a pitcher, a home run in the first inning. Shohei's done it twice. And since 1974, the only other pitcher to do it was Carlos Zambrano for the Chicago Cubs in 2006.
Well, he could crush the baseball.
He's a switch hitter. As Grichuk takes ball 4, rare walk for him as he's on to lead off in the bottom of the 4th inning. Zambrano could really hit. At that time in the National League, there was no designated hitter. Occasionally an interleague play, and that was it. Here's Eduardo Escobar. Balls and 1 strike on Escobar, a switch hitter himself. Bats here. You see his numbers with men on base. That's how you drive in a lot of runs, and Escobar certainly has over the course of his career. Back in 2019 with Arizona, Escobar had 115 RBIs. That was the 4th most in the National League that season.
You can still see it on occasion. He's got that power when he gets in that right position to look for a pitch and guess right.
He was kind of having a tough year last year too, and all of a sudden in September it was the Eduardo Escobar of old. He was the National League Player of the Month last September as the Mets were trying to win the National League East. And Escobar did all he could to help the Mets hold off Atlanta, which they could not. And they ended up tied. And last year was the first year that tiebreakers came into play for division titles and wild card spots.
That extra wild card, there's no way you can have that 1-game playoff or play in sometimes. Those games were unbelievably exciting though.
Yep. There's a fly ball to right from Escobar that Martini is tracking and has it for the first out. Hunter Renfroe will bat. It's lunchtime with Jack in the Box.
My classic sourdough Jack. It's named after your 2 favorite things, sourdough and me. Only at Jack.
Those games 163 in the past, those tie-breaking games, so much drama wrapped around those 1-game playoffs. Especially when they are play-in games, as you said, to try to determine a division champion or a wild card.
Remember that Tigers and Minnesota Twins 1-game playoff.
Yeah,
that was incredible.
The Metrodome. Pop up on the infield, and Encarnacion Strand. Well, he didn't want to leave his fellow Reds infielders stranded there. He went all the way toward the second base position to make the catch.
That goes way back to 2009, that epic 1-game play in between the Tigers and the Twins.
That was a crazy one. There have been a lot of good ones over the years. Major League Baseball kind of manufactured it with the wild card game. And after the 2020 season, the shortened season, we saw kind of an expanded playoff for the first time. That was voted into the last collective bargaining agreement to start having those, and last year we saw those take off in the best of 3. Of everybody playing at once in that scenario. So that's what we have now in place of having those extra tie-breaking games. Moniak trying to bunt his way on, and he's safe.
Baseball ran in on him too to be able to get that bunt down the third base line, and Abbott has to field that baseball. It's a longer throw. You got to spin around and make a throw as a left-handed pitcher. And you always worry about that. You see him brought the hand back. You remember he got hit on his finger when he was bunting last season. And you see right away bringing that hand back just the way, make sure that hand was not going to be hit with the baseball again on the bat.
Now Velasquez tries to bunt third base side, and it rolls foul.
That would have been real interesting too, because that ends up being a force play if it keeps that one fair. Steer field that step right on the bag because it was bunted harder down the third base line than he wanted to. Doubled his first at bat. Base runners on here now to try to get that run back that the Reds picked up in the top of the fourth.
Balls 2 strikes now on Velasquez. He doubled to start the third inning and came home on Luis Rengifo's 2-base hit. And the Angels have had the lead since Shohei's home run in the first. Mariners finally lost a game, beaten by the White Sox today. Seattle had won 21 of their last 26 in 8 in a row.
Yeah, they were down 3-1 in the ninth. They scored 3 to take a 4-3 lead. Chicago tied it up and then won it in the 10th inning.
Rangers are off today. The Astros host Boston later, looking to sweep the Red Sox as Velasquez couldn't hold his swing. And that ends the bottom of the fourth.
With everything you have on your plate, earning your degree online seems impossible. But at Grand Canyon University, we specialize in helping you fit a master's degree in business into your busy day. Your graduation team, led by your own GCU counselor, provides you with the personal support you need to succeed. Achieve your goals with a plan and team behind you. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want on the only live TV streaming service rated #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Try free at FuboTV.com.
What does the future of strength look like? It's a personal trainer that assesses your strength and adds weight as you progress. It's dynamic weight that adjusts for you in real time for a more efficient workout. Come on! And it's a roster of coaches that motivates you to get stronger, faster. The future is strength you can feel and results you can see. And you can only experience it on Tonal.
Friday, September 15th, the Halos take on the Tigers at 6:30. First 25,000 fans will receive a Mike Trout Silver Slugger bobblehead, courtesy of angels.ocnavigator.org. Visit angels.com/promotions. Trout not in the lineup for game 1 of the doubleheader today. Will Benson leads off here in the 5th. Trout did come back last night as Benson has to duck from that Tyler Anderson pitch. Anderson has been on since there was 1 out in the 2nd. Replacing Shohei Ohtani can give the Angels some length. And the Angels with a large number of starting pitchers between the group they have as Benson pops one up. Velasquez able to handle that. And there's one away here in the fifth.
He has caught a lot of pop-ups the last couple of days. You're going to have an angry swing at that one after that pitch is above you. The first one, he was up there trying to do some damage, and he ended up popping out, getting underneath that swing.
The way Chase Silseth has pitched over the last month, and Griffin Canning back off the IL. The Angels kind of have an influx of starting pitchers, even if they don't quite know what the deal is going to be with Shohei's ability to pitch here moving forward. And they're certainly covered from a rotation standpoint. As Luke Mailey's the batter here. We'll hear what Phil Nevin has to say between games. With this being a day-night doubleheader, there'll be more time between games than the traditional single admission doubleheader. So I expect we'll hear from Phil Nevin after game one. He'll give us an update on how Shohei's feeling and if he can bat in game two.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's difficult as a manager. It's those decisions and the conversations you have with your team and how the players are feeling, knowing where you are in the schedule and how many games you're back, and how close you want to get at least get to that 500 mark and go from there.
Three balls, two strikes on Mailey. TJ Friedl behind him, back to the top of the Reds order. And there's ball four, so Anderson walks the number 9 batter, and that puts a man on base with Friedl coming up. Reed Detmers took a no-hitter into the 8th inning in his last start against the Texas Rangers. Threw a no-hitter in his rookie year last season against the Rays, and he'll be on the mound for game 2 of our doubleheader tonight.
He did a great job of attacking the strike zone down with his fastball. His setup, his slider was good, his curveball. Even that hit for Marcus Semien wasn't exactly squared up, was placed perfectly. You can go back to that game. I know there's a lot of things could change here and there, but he had a 2-2 pitch. We thought it was all over the strike zone, was called a ball, ended up throwing an extra 15 pitches in that inning, which cost him an extra 15. As he ended up not being able to throw that second career no-hitter, which would have been amazing. I mean, you think about that early in the career to be able to have yourself in that position.
A few pitchers in Major League history that have had 2 no-hitters before turning 25, and Reed Detmers had a chance for that in that start against the Rangers last week.
Kyle Anderson was wondering if that pitch was up. It was a little bit above the strike zone.
Two balls, two strikes on Friedl. List of pitchers with 2 no-hitters before turning 25. One of them a Cincinnati Red. Actually, a couple of them Reds, because Johnny Vandermeer did it with his back-to-back no-hitters. He was 23 years old. Don Wilson. Most recent was Steve Busby.
Yep. He went to USC too.
Went to Fullerton Union High School. Michael Lorenzen, he was one of those guys that pitched there that ended up in the big leagues and threw a no-hitter. Like every pitcher from that school that made it to the big leagues has.
Yes.
What a weird stat that was, including Michael Lorenzen. And
by the way, that back-to-back no-hitters, that will never be broken. That means you have to throw 3 of them to break it. So no.
I don't think anybody's going to even tie it. Some historic feat from Johnny Vandermeer. 3 balls, 2 strikes on TJ Friedl as Anderson is about to throw his 60th pitch.
Big pitch coming here, especially with McLean on deck. Hit the ball hard his last at bat against Tyler Anderson.
Friedl lined out his last time. He gets this ball well toward right. Renfroe backing up for it. He's there and he makes the catch. Told you Friedl can surprise you with his power. A guy who's looking to bunt a lot of the time. who just missed that one. So 2 outs. Now the batter will be McLean.
Yeah, you can tell he was sensing he's going to get a fastball with this part of the lineup coming up. So he was all over that fastball. And 90, able to run it down though.
McLean had a base hit his first time. It's going to be interesting when the Rookie of the Year votes are out, determining which Red will have the most Rookie of the Year votes or could possibly win it. Still, I would say Corbin Carroll is the favorite in terms of the National League Rookie of the Year. You'd probably make the case that McLean will get the most votes out of any of these Reds rookies.
Arizona's kind of gotten hot again. 5 games over 500 after they struggled. We're a couple games under 500.
And they've won 8 of their last 10, and they're back in the 3rd wild card spot in the National League. The chopper is short, charging Velasquez. He'll have to hurry. Low throw, and Drury can't pick it. So McLean is on, and that will give De La Cruz a chance. See how that's scored. Velasquez had time to get it there, and the throw just kind of short hopped on Drury at the end.
Drury, not a ton of experience there at first base. He's been pretty solid defensively at second base. He's looking at that glove right now. He didn't quite turn it the right way to be able to get to that baseball.
Now ball 1 to De La Cruz. Mentioned earlier that he is not nearly as strong of a right-handed hitter as he is left-handed. Only 1 of his 10 homers and only 2 of his 27 RBIs have come while batting right-handed. Struck out the first 2 times today. 2 balls, no strikes on De La Cruz.
And now you put him in a position he's going to be looking right in that spot, middle part of the plate. Talk about that speed, but he's got some pretty good power too. 26 extra base hits.
It's a high fly ball, left center field, pretty deep. Back for it is Moniak at the wall. It is gone. Ellie De La Cruz waited near home plate to make sure it was going to go, and it did. And the Reds have come back to take a 4-3 lead.
I mentioned that speed, but the power. You put yourself in position to center on a pitch, and that's a fastball. That middle down, and he drives it out to center field.
You know, it comes after another play that the Angels couldn't make. An error by Velasquez prolonged the inning. A low throw that Brandon Drury couldn't dig out of the dirt. It gave De La Cruz an at-bat with 2 outs. Anderson fell behind, and De La Cruz makes everybody pay. And now gets to wear the Viking helmet and the robe in the Reds dugout. Pose for a picture. Two balls and a strike on Spencer Steer. Andrew Velasquez has made 6 errors in 47 games. He's supposed to be truly just here for his defense. Kind of spiked that throw on Drury. It allowed McLean to reach. Drury, not a very experienced first baseman, unable to dig it out. 2-out, 3-run homer comes right after that, making all of these runs unearned. 3 unearned runs in the 5th inning yesterday gave the Reds a win.
Hey, your goal, like I've said a number of times after mistakes made, is you got to pick up your fielder as quick as possible.
Yeah, it wasn't quick enough in this inning as Ellie De La Cruz put the Reds on top.
Listen to live blackout free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes. Home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
See it.
He struck him out. It's out of here.
Feel it.
I can't wait for this game to start. He took a home run away.
Live it.
That is as good as it gets.
The big plays.
The beauty of sports is when the hero comes through.
Yeah, the tense moments.
We have an update we must show you. He's done it again.
With live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
That might be what it takes to win.
MLB Tonight on MLB Network.
Cruz hits a 3-run homer. The Reds, both of these teams really heavy with the 3 true outcomes. We've seen a number of walks and strikeouts. We've seen a couple of superstars hit home runs today. Shohei for the Angels, although he left the game in the 2nd inning due to arm fatigue. And now Elly De La Cruz has put the Reds on top. Cincinnati leads the majors in comeback wins this year. They've had 38, including last night, and bidding for another one today. Ifo grounds one right through the middle, and that's a base hit. So the Angels get their leadoff man on base here in the 5th inning. Renjifo's been on base 3 times against Andrew Abbott.
Yeah, he's driven the ball well back up the middle. It worked out walk. The first at bat scored the run when Shohei hit the 2-run home run, and then a double RBI, and then now a base hit back up the middle. See if the offense can respond. The Reds took a lead with 3 runs on that 3-run home run by De La Cruz.
There's the rookie Shonowell. Time is called as Shonowell gets into the box. 1st-round pick this year out of FAU as the streak lives. 3 years in a row the Angels have had the first player from a particular draft get to the big leagues. Chase Silseth was the first out of 2021. Zach Neto the first out of 2022. And Shonowell lapped the field this year. Just 40 days after the draft getting to the big leagues.
The Reds don't think Shonowell is going to be able to pull a baseball down that right field line. Teeny playing well over right center field.
The last 4 1st-round picks have quickly gotten to the big leagues. Sam Bachman on that list as well. Reed Detmers. The Angels have been drafting well over the last few years. It's all part of the player development world, whether they spend a lot of time in the minors or not. Shonowell pulls the bunt back and takes ball 2 from Andrew Abbott. Shonowell with a walk in the 3rd, his only plate appearance. He's in the spot in the order where Shohei had been. Good take there to make it 3 balls and a strike.
That was a really good take on that. That was a tough one. A sweeper that was just a little bit below the strike zone. Sometimes even when you attempt a bunt, you're able to track the baseball well. Allows you to see that, especially pitches that are downstairs. And Abbott's been throwing him a number of pitches downstairs so far in the sequence. It's another good take.
Ball 4 to Shonowell, so he has walked both times he has batted so far in this game. Renjifo goes to 2nd base. The Angels have their first 2 men on here in the bottom of the 5th, trying to respond quickly after the Reds took the lead in the previous half inning.
Heard that strike zone command and knowing the strike zone so well for Shonewell. That was a pretty tough pitch to take there too. 2 in a row just below the strike zone. Controlling the strike zone is so key, especially if you're a young hitter. You're facing major league pitching like he is now.
Drury's 0 for 2. He has popped out and struck out as Maley goes to the mound. We will hear from Kia. You ever have a mound visit that was particularly memorable and clean?
No. I always just say go back behind the plate. Just put the right fingers down and we'll be all right. That was not a lot of patience. I wanted to compete as quick as possible. I always felt it slowed me down, but maybe this is all part to be able to give more time to go down to the bullpen now.
Yeah, Andrew Abbott, I think, just might be hitting a wall at this point in the year. This is most innings he has pitched in his professional career, or really at any point in his life.
By the way, when I knew the catcher was coming out to stall, that was even worse.
This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
What makes baseball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit outside.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
This is Christopher Russo. This is Joey Votto. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Christopher Russo plays hard, so he doesn't end up here.
Must be nice to sit atop that Madison Avenue ivory tower, looking down at us with those luscious locks. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a disgrace.
High Heat with Christopher Russo.
It took me the last 2 weeks prepping for this interview. I didn't realize how much I love you. You are the best.
On MLB Network. Keep up with every team on MLB Network wherever you go. Just download the MLB app, click MLB Network, and sign in with your TV provider info. Then watch MLB Network all day, every day.
Brought to you by Hyundai. Get away with a great deal only at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Visit buyhyundai.com today. By the OC Healthcare Agency, build your healthiest self at angels.ocnavigator.org. And by your local Southern California Cadillac dealers. It's a lovely day. Getting toward the end of summer now. Get your surfing in while you still can. Andrew Abbott, he can hit the beach right now. He is done after 4+ innings. Bit of a bumpy road for Abbott today. He got off to such a good start to his big league career. He's the first pitcher in Major League history to not allow a run in each of his first 3 Major League starts, pitching at least 5 innings in each of them. Over the last handful of outings, he's had a tough time, and he gives way to Buck Farmer. New pitcher for the Reds, who gets Brandon Drury to pop up the very first pitch. Infield fly rule will have the batter be out, and De La Cruz catches it.
Farmer's fastball. He's going to be 93, 96. He'll throw a curveball and a changeup.
Long-time Detroit Tiger. Farmer now 32 years old. He's been around a little bit. This is his second year with the Reds. He's been used a lot. David Bell not afraid to go to his relievers over and over and over again. For Farmer, this is his 57th appearance. Ties him with Ian Jabot for the team lead. The Reds are the only team with 6 different pitchers having appeared in at least 50 games this year. Farmer has been fine. He's allowed 8 home runs in 58 innings.
I recall most times Farmer will throw a lot of pitches away. If it's in, it's by a mistake. Drop his elbow a little bit. Most times he's going to try to get you away. So you have to process at the plate. It's going to be middle to other way for Logan O'Hoppe.
Swing and a miss there. It's a ball and a strike. George Rooney Farmer. He's from Georgia. Somehow he got the nickname Buck. I don't know why. Maybe that's what they like to call people down there.
Could be.
Buck Showalter is from Florida. Well, Hoppy fouls one back. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And so slider, changeup. The next 2 pitches. That first pitch fastball pulled off the outside corner.
Is in there. Strike 3 call. Good breaking ball from Farmer to strike out O'Hoppe. So Farmer has come in and retired the first 2 hitters after the first 2 reached in this inning.
Yeah, trying to get that tying run at least across the plate and pop up and then a strikeout looking. That is the 4th time the Angels have struck out looking today.
There's a fly ball off the end of Grichuk's bat. Behind third where De La Cruz has it. The Angels strand 2 after having 2 on, nobody out.
You want highlights? Quick Pitch has you covered, packing all today's biggest plays into one lightning fast hour.
What a play!
We live today, preview tomorrow on Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network.
Listen to live, blackout-free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam!
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes! Home run, Pete Alonso!
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
It could cost them first place. The AL West has tightened up at the top as the Rangers have lost 6 in a row. And who knows what the Yankees are going to do. They have lost 9 in a row. The last time they lost 10 straight was in 1913. The Yankees will play the Washington Nationals tonight, looking to avoid a 10th straight loss. But even 9 is rare. 1982, the last time that happened. The Yankees have fallen back. They are 5 games under 500 as Tyler Anderson faces a pinch hitter, T.J. Hopkins, for Joey Votto here.
By the way, the Nationals are starting to play some pretty good baseball. They've won 8 of the last 10.
Kind of see it materializing.
David Martinez given a 2-year extension, their manager.
Mike Rizzo's contract is up after the end of this season, but likely he'll stick around as well to see through what he has built as the Nationals try to fix some issues they had after winning the World Series in 2019. They started rebuilding. They're trying to see that start to materialize. It's tough in their division, though, that's for sure. The National League East at the top, the Atlanta Braves are just relentless. The Phillies have put together a team that they feel is built for the long haul. The Mets thought they had one too, but they're kind of kicked back now. The Marlins always.
They got some really good pitching, the Marlins.
Yeah, they do. They're always struggling to find ways to score. A long fly ball. Moniak fighting the sun, able to catch it right in front of the wall. As Hopkins flies out. Milwaukee had a come from behind win against Minnesota today, so they're in first place in the NL Central, holding off the Cubs and the Reds for now. And the wild card, well, you see all those teams bunched together. The Cubs, the Diamondbacks, Cincinnati, San Francisco. After the Reds finish up this series today against the Angels, they will go to Arizona and then they go to San Francisco. So it's going to be a big couple of series for the Reds once they leave this area to go to Arizona next.
And then you look even in the American League with Seattle. We mentioned they lost today in the 10th inning. They have a tough last week or so of their schedule. They play Texas a couple times and the Astros, I think.
1 ball, 1 strike on Christian Encarnacion Strand. The team in front of us has had a horrific month of August. It is really a scenario that was hard to see play out this way when the Angels made all those trades at the end of July into the beginning of August. And these last 3 weeks really have been a big slide for this team.
Yeah, you go back to that energy level for that flight going from Toronto down to Atlanta when the rumors of the trades being made and the add-on players. Everyone was feeling great. You win that first game down in Atlanta.
Yeah. And this thing looked like for the Angels that it was going to be doing just fine. And these last 3 weeks have been a mess. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Encarnacion Strand. The Angels are trying to dig out of it. There's still 5.5 weeks left in the season. As far as making a push, it's hard to do that. Where the Angels are right now, you can still finish strong. You can still go and have your best 5.5 weeks of the season here. See if they get you closer or not. The Angels are far back now.
Well, starts here today. Be able to get this one. Be able to get back in front of this. You're down just by 1 run.
What you don't want is just more losses piling up. Regardless if that puts you in the playoff sphere or not. You just don't want to see loss after loss and things continue to slide the way they have over the last few weeks as Anderson strikes out Encarnacion Strand.
Backdoor with his cutter. Perfect spot. Called 3rd strike. Now 84 pitches for Tyler Anderson.
Swing and a miss by Nick Martini. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Martini strikes out. So Tyler Anderson works a 1-2-3, top of the 6th.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party. Oh, man. With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's money.
What?
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake. That is awesome.
MLB Tonight. Late nights on MLB Network.
Listen to live, blackout-free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam!
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes! Home run, Pete Alonso!
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
Get your red on and join us this season for Angels baseball. Visit angels.com to buy your tickets. Upcoming games, exciting matchups, giveaways, and more. Bottom of the 6th, Eduardo Escobar pops up the first pitch he sees from Buck Farmer. And Ellie De La Cruz handles that. That is 4 batters faced for Farmer. 3 pop-ups to short and a strikeout.
Yeah, and they were all 3 on first pitches pop-ups.
Renfroe at the plate, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Angels have 5 hits in this game. The Reds only have 3. And one of them, the 3-run homer from Ellie De La Cruz. An inning where the Reds were able to take advantage of another error, just like they did in the 5th inning yesterday. 3 unearned runs in the 5th last night, and 3 unearned in the 5th today. 4-3 the final yesterday, and 4-3 the score. And it's still some time to go in this one. 3 balls, no strikes on Renfroe trying to reach. And Mickey Moniak behind him.
Still think right now 3-0 count for Renfroe. Just get the green light. Farmer has given up 5 home runs to right-handed batters.
There's a strike at the bottom of the zone. Sometimes on 3-0 that strike zone gets bigger. It's always been the case
in the old neighborhood. Especially when you catch it brings that baseball up that far.
Never seemed to make much sense, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Activity in both bullpens. Alex Young for the Reds and Aaron Loop for the Angels. Renfroe fouls one straight.
You had that one on.
That was coming up.
Yeah, that was
smoked.
Yes, but I knew you had it.
I was just figuring out which way I needed to turn. Yeah, hit it over there. Spencer Steer grabbed that.
That's a strong throwing arm too by Steer. Gets to that baseball in the backhand. Oh, his fans, friends and family here liking that play on the backhand and a strong throw across the diamond.
That'll be it for Farmer as he retires all 5 batters that he faces. The Reds go back to their bullpen.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort. From the first pitch,
let's go to the ballpark,
to live look-ins and post-game reactions. Tell us how this one feels. That's how this team covers every team on MLB Tonight.
Listen to live, blackout-free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes. Home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
By Nissan, save on the action-packed Nissan lineup today at the Nissan Thrill of the Drive sales event. By Jack in the Box, the double bacon sourdough Jack has slice after slice after slice of bacon. Try it. And by Spectrum One, Internet Advanced Wi-Fi Mobile for just $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com. Mickey Moniak due to bat. Left-hander Alex Young enters the game for David Bell's Cincinnati Reds.
Not overpowering in his fastball, little tailing action. He's 89-92. Also throws a slider, curveball, and a changeup.
Young will face Moniak here. Young came up in the Diamondbacks organization. He's bounced around some since then. Was with the Giants for a time last year. Moniak has not been able to adjust against left-handed pitching. He did have a bunt base hit against Andrew Abbott, a left-hander, the last time that he came up.
Moniak got a break on that pitch. Even up the count at 1.
He tries to bunt again here. It's 2 balls and a strike. The first baseman, Encarnacion Strand, is way back, and Steer is in closer at third, but off the line.
He's trying to catch one of those curveballs that's in a higher arc, see if he can do some damage.
And there was a ground ball that gets through. It was exactly that, a curveball that floated a bit. And Moniak has his second hit today, a 2-out single, which brings up Velasquez.
Good job of staying down on that baseball from Moniak. Driving that right back up the middle.
There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Velasquez with a double and a run scored in the 3rd inning. Struck out his last time. Angels had a 3-0 lead in this game. The Reds, as they often do, have come back. 3-run homer by De La Cruz made it 4-3. The Reds will still need a lot of outs from their bullpen. They've gotten 5 already from Buck Farmer. Now Alex Young in the game. Reds have not even announced a game 2 starter. No idea who's going to pitch the second game tonight.
Feels like it could be a bullpen game, but this is already turned into a bullpen game here. You do have that extra player on the doubleheader, 27th man.
Well, Velasquez strikes out, and that ends the 6th.
After your 9 to 5, your 5 to 9 should be easy. As easy as Home Chef's fasted fresh meals. Relax during the home stretch with a meal filled with fresh, pre-portioned ingredients while your microwave or oven does all the work, so you can clean your plate and skip the cleanup after. Get dinner done quicker with Home Chef's fast and fresh meals, so you can spend your 5 to 9 however you want to. Delicious meets simple. Get 18 free meals at homechef.com.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car. Then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
You're back. Julio Franco turned 65 today. I bet he could still hit a fastball. He did pretty well, looks like, against you there. 380, is that what that says?
I think they messed up. I thought it said 180.
Oh,
yeah,
that could have been it.
Yeah, he could hit a slider too out over the plate and line up right back up the middle. Really appreciate that over the years. Very comfortable. But they were all singers, though. I had a kid.
Played until he was 49 at the major league level. He played beyond that too. Independent ball and such. Julio Franco, a nice career as Aaron Loop is on the mound for the Angels here in the top of the 7th.
He hit the ball as hard as anybody I ever faced in my career, and it was the way he had his hands set up. But finally figured out the only way to get him out, and didn't get him a whole lot, was throwing it inside a sinker so he could just hit that straight into the ground and hope my third baseman or shortstop would make a play.
Julio Franco was the All-Star Game MVP in 1990 at Wrigley Field. He drove in the only 2 runs of that game. It was a rainy night in Chicago, and Julio Franco had a 2-run double for the only 2 runs in the American League's 2-0 win over the National League. I would know. I was there, 6 years old at that All-Star game.
I think he was at on the All-Star team here in '89 here at the Big A. Bo Jackson All-Star game.
He was in the All-Star game 3 years in a row, '89, '90, and '91. He was quite a player. Julio Franco, 65 years old today. Well, he's older than you, so you got that going.
I do have that going for me. That's a plus. You always got to go for the wins.
Benson has a base hit past a diving Rengifo. And the Reds have their leadoff man on here in the top of the 7th.
Stayed on that one. Just gets it by Luis Rengifo. Even if he gets to that baseball with the speed of Benson, that would have been a tough play. "13 stolen bases on the season, been caught just twice." Luke's got a good pickoff move.
Luke Maile at the plate, walked and scored his last time. There's a walk from Tyler Anderson that set up the 5th inning for the Reds. Matt McLain reached on a 2-out error, and then Ellie De La Cruz hit a home run, kind of spoiled the performance from Anderson. There's a ground ball as Rengifo gets over to it. He's played a first to retire Maile. Benson takes second base. All things considered, not a bad outing from Anderson, who went 4 2/3 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 earned run, and struck out 5 in emergency duty after Shohei Ohtani left this game in the 2nd inning.
And if you're Tyler Anderson, you're not thinking there's any chance you're getting in that game, especially with Shohei Ohtani on the mound to start with.
There's a bunt from Friedel up the first base side. Diving for the bag. He's safe. Another bunt base hit for TJ Friedel. And that might have set up looking at first like it was trying to be a sacrifice, but he says he is never looking to sacrifice. He is looking to bunt for a hit every time.
We're taking a look at that one right now. Looked like he just got in there. That's what Brandon Drury was walking all the way in to get that look.
Drury fielded and then swiped, and Friedel dove underneath the tag. That is one of the few instances where it is preferable to be diving into first base.
You see he gets that hand in before he was tagged out on that.
So a bunt base hit sets the Reds up 1st and 3rd. The creator of chaos, TJ Friedel, strikes again.
And that's tremendous speed at 3rd and at 1st.
McLain has scored a couple of runs. He reached on that error in the 5th inning, and it looks like he'll be facing a different pitcher as Phil Nevin makes his way out to the mound. So Aaron Loup has faced 3 hitters, 2 have reached. And that will be the end of Loup's performance here in game 1 of the doubleheader.
Let's talk about sex. As you get a little older, things tend to work a little differently.
I felt shame, embarrassment, guilt.
Like something had been knocked out from underneath me. What HIMS does is says, hey, look, don't worry about it. We got this part covered. 100% online.
The whole process was very discreet.
It made me feel like I'm a rock star.
This product has changed my life.
When it kicked in, I said, yeah, I'm back. I remember this feeling.
Get started today at 4hims.com.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive, but here's a secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers. Like we do. Oh, hi, we're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You could try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Valley Sports brought to you by Metro Water District. For water-saving tips and rebates, visit bewaterwise.com. By Jack in the Box, the double bacon sourdough Jack has slice after slice after slice of bacon. Try it. And by Pacifico, a rich golden lager brewed for those who follow their own path. Pacifico, live life, anchors out. It's a lovely day, and the Angels are trying to make the most of it. Their City Connect uniforms as Dominic Leone takes over on the mound here in the top of the 7th. Aaron Loop started the inning, allowed a couple of base hits, one a bunt base hit by T.J. Friedl. Orange County born and raised Matt McLean stands in against Leone as he delivers ball 1. McLean's had another good day, and he's been in the middle of the Reds offense so far in this series, batting close to 300 in his rookie year.
Just looking for something hit on the ground at an infielder here now.
2 balls and no strikes. De La Cruz behind him. Balls and no strikes. De La Cruz has hit a 3-run homer in this game. That was from the right side. He'll bat left-handed against Leone. That's his stronger side.
Just make it really difficult batting the left side and get a double play turned against him, so you'll think it's strikeout if he can don't come back in this at bat.
There's ball 4. You'd think it's almost impossible to bust up a double play on De La Cruz left-handed. He's only hit into 4 double plays this year. And it's hard to imagine where a ground ball would lead to 2 outs here.
But he has struck out twice today. That's what you're thinking. You need that punch out.
So here is De La Cruz. He almost single-handedly provided the Reds the win yesterday just with his speed and defense alone. And today he used his bat. He launched a 3-run homer his last time. That's why the Reds have the lead. There's ball 1 from Leone, who entered the game and has since not thrown a strike.
Pitched in a game yesterday.
There's the first strike from Leone. He gets even with De La Cruz.
What we've seen about De La Cruz so far, and this is small sample size, a couple games, he will chase some off speed below the strike zone. Fastballs, he's on it.
Hit hard and fair down the first base line. Benson scores. Friedl scores. McLean to third. He's being waved home. De La Cruz gallops to third. It's a 3-run triple. It's a 6 RBI game, and the Reds have a 7-3 lead.
That baseball was covered 112 miles per hour off the bat. That's a cut fastball. So he's on anything in that fastball variety, whether it's a 4-seam, 2-seamer, or cut fastball. Shohei struck him out on a splitter way back in the first.
That speed around the bases for Elly De La Cruz. That is his 6th triple. There's no doubt 3 bases and 3 RBIs off the bat once it got by Drury down the first base side.
He's done this all in 65 games.
Well, there were some people that were hoping to see him make the All-Star team. You know, at that point he only played what 20 games at that point. And he's such a dynamic player. There's so much talent and skill. You want to see him on every possible stage, and now he scores on a base hit by Steer. So the Reds lead at 8-3. And they've scored 4 times here in the top of the 7th. And here comes Matt Wise as Leone has walked a batter and he's given up a triple and a single. They will discuss, and we will hear from Metro Water District.
Visit BeWaterWise.com for water-saving tips and money-saving rebates.
T.J. Hopkins due up. He batted for Votto in the 6th inning. Going as Hopkins fouls one off. The Reds lead the majors in steals. They have not had one today, so Steer trying to swipe one as Cincinnati's gone up by 5.
And that could have been a call strike that's a little bit, maybe just touching the corner.
1 ball, 1 strike on Hopkins. Encarnacion Strand behind him. The Reds have busted it open here in the 7th. They've scored 4 times. And they've gotten themselves in position to win another series on the road. Cincinnati has been a great road team this year. If they win this one, they'll have won 28 of their last 40 away from Great American Ballpark. This will be their 10th road series win of the last 13 road series they've played.
This means they're hitting 15 points higher on the road. You think of that ballpark. Cincinnati is a hitter's yard.
Not very much so. Great American Ballpark. Velasquez gets this one to second. Rengifo a quick turn to first. Double play. Nicely turned to end the inning, but 4 runs for the Reds, and they have a 5-run lead.
Listen to live Black Eye Free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes. Home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
Keep up with every team on MLB Network wherever you go. Just download the MLB app, click MLB Network, and sign in with your TV provider info. Then watch MLB Network all day, every day, your way.
Take a look at our T-Mobile coverage cam. Ellie De La Cruz, what a game he has had. 3-run home run to left center field, hit that one way out, and then the bases loaded, a 3-run triple. Stayed on that one, pulled it right down the first baseline, showing that speed, but also power with 6 RBIs, a couple extra base hits for Cincinnati here today. Derek Law in on the mound now for Cincinnati, his 41st game. All these guys out of the bullpen with a large number of games and appearances.
Derek Law, another guy who's been around as he takes over. Martini has moved over from right field to center field. And there's your guy, Michael Ciani, in the game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him play. And he's so excited to be able to get a chance to be able to play in this game here today. It's recalled by the Reds. Picked up his first major league hit last season.
Looks like Ciani's actually in center field. Martini has stayed in right. And there's a line drive, base hit. Renjifo's on for the 4th time. His 3rd hit today. See if he thinks about 3 bases. Around second he goes, on his way to 3rd. Relay's on the way. It is not in time. A triple for Luis Renjifo.
Renjifo will be looking for another at bat here today. He's got a walk, double, single, triple.
Home run away from the cycle as he took off looking for 3 bases.
That's a slider, and he stayed down on that one. Lines at the right field. We mentioned about Cincinnati in the right field. Tini's been putting well off the line. If you pull one, you could be running for a while. Dives in there just before the tag is made and kept that hand on the base.
It's the 4th triple this year for Renjifo. Going to take that chance with nobody out. You better make it.
Yes.
Two balls, no strikes on Shonowell, who has walked in both of his plate appearances so far today. It's on a 4-game hitting streak to start his big league career. Now, if he walks again, the hitting streak would carry over another game if you don't get an official at bat. That does not end a hitting streak. So far, 2 plate appearances and 2 walks for Shonowell in this one. He swings through that, and it's 2-2.
That's the spot when he progresses in his career. He's going to be able to jump on that pitch. His hands the way they're set up right now. Get through that baseball where he's going to be able to lift it. It's down on the baseball quite a bit right now. A lot of line drives, ground balls, but eventually you'll see some fly ball action.
Fouls that one off, and it's still 2 balls, 2 strikes on Shonowell. Brandon Drury behind him, then Ohtani as the Angels try to rally against the Reds bullpen. So far they haven't been able to. Buck Farmer and Alex Young combined for 2 scoreless innings. And that's Derek Law. And there's ball 3 to Shonowell.
That last bat, he took a couple really tough pitches below the strike zone to pick up his 2nd walk. Need traffic here to make any kind of a comeback.
And there's ball 4. So Shonowell has walked all 3 times he's come to the plate. The Angels have runners on 1st and 3rd to start the inning. Here's Drury. Drury's homered in 3 straight games. He's 0 for 3 today. He's popped out a couple of times. Also just missed a home run down the left field line earlier today.
It's already 5 walks in his young career. Shonowell coming in with a .353 on base percentage. That'll jump up considerably with 3 walks today.
Swing and a miss by Drury, and it snowballs in a strike. Reds pitching staff has given up a lot of home runs this year. Cincinnati's allowed 180 home runs on the season. Drury, it's a bouncer to short. De La Cruz had some trouble getting it out of his glove. So the Reds only get 1 out. Drury is safe at first as Renjifo scores. Drury gets an RBI to make it 8-4.
A little bit of a bobble there. Allows Drury to be able to beat that out and pick up an RBI. His 56th. Still was able to score a run there.
And Cincinnati coming in to play center field. You wonder if everything's all right with TJ Friedel. He had that bunt base hit and he scored on the top of the 7th inning.
A head first dive in the first base.
So Friedel came out when Cincinnati entering the game. Let's see if Friedel's available for game 2 tonight. Reds are a little banged up. They've got a few contributors out, including Jonathan India, Jake Fraley, probably their 2 biggest missing pieces right now, along with Stuart Fairchild. One ball, 2 strikes on Ohtani as the Angels have gotten a run closer here in the bottom of the 7th.
Change up to Ohtani. Ohtani second at bat, crushed the baseball to dead center, was ran back, caught by the wall.
Hit well to center, and Cincinnati will play it on the bounce. Base hit for Ohtani. The Angels trying to stack up a rally here in the 7th. Already 1 run home, and now runners on 1st and 2nd.
Solid swing back up the middle by Ohtani.
Randall Grichuk walked earlier. He's 0 for 2.
Bullpen moving again for Cincinnati.
Reds trying to get Derek Law through this inning. A roller to first. Encarnacion Strand will take it to the bag to retire Grichuk, and runners move up to 2nd and 3rd.
Base hit here, you cut it to 8-6 here. Bring it back for Eduardo Escobar.
Long run allowed here. The first one he's given up in about a month. Not allowed a run in his last 12 appearances. So a chance here for the Angels to touch him up with at least 1 or 2 more if Escobar can get a base hit. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Angel Stadium. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Those shades on Moustakas, the red rims. Ball 1 to Escobar. I'm sure we'll see Moustakas in game 2 of the doubleheader tonight.
Get close. You always have that possibility of bringing him off the bench too. He's done some serious damage, some either tying or go-ahead home runs wearing the Angels uniform.
It's 2 balls, no strikes. Renfroe due up next. If he bats in this inning, he'd be the tying run.
Might get that chance.
There's a strike, and it's 3-1. A 3-0
curveball.
It used to be automatic 3-0 fastball. Really no fastball counts anymore. 3-0 more than the others, but not every time. There's ball 4, so Renfroe will bat, representing the tying run.
I'm so sure he's going to get a chance to pitch to Renfroe.
David Bell on the top step of the Reds dugout. He's on his way, so Derek Law is allowed to run. He will not stick around to see the end of this inning, though. The Reds have their bullpen up, and they will utilize it again. It'll be the 4th reliever used by David Bell. This game tightens up. The Angels have the tying run at the plate.
Listen to strikeout-free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes. Home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
You want highlights? Quick Pitch has you covered.
I'd say this calls for celebration.
Packing all today's biggest plays into one lightning-fast hour.
Oh, my goodness. What play?
Every game.
Go!
Every night.
Swing and a miss.
Every highlight that makes the headlines.
Are you kidding me?
We live today, preview tomorrow.
This race in the NL Central is getting good.
On Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network. It's the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan. Off Base, with interviews and coverage of baseball's hottest stars.
I've done a couple interviews in my life. This probably is the most fun I've ever been a part of.
Only on MLB Network.
Tonight, starting with Angels live at 6. First pitch a little after 6:30. Reed Detmers takes the mound after his terrific outing last week in Texas.
If you go back to last season, especially after coming back from that one time he threw an assignment down in AAA, came back and just had a great streak, and hopefully that start in Texas start something good for Reed Detmers. He's made a little bit of adjustment in his mechanics. That carries over here against Cincinnati, who's played well in these first 2 games.
Reds have big Ian Chabot on the mound. We saw him pitch late in the game last night. Chabot worked a 1/3 of an inning, got 1 out in the 8th before Alexis Diaz saved it in the 9th inning. I'm sure we'll see Diaz in the 9th today if the Reds still have a lead in a close game. Right now it's 8-4, but the Angels can tie it with 1 swing. A guy with a lot of power at the plate, Hunter Renfroe. Was trying to crush that one, but fouled it off.
Chabot's fastball, 92-98. Throws a slider changeup. He's seen a lot of first pitch fastballs off the plate, especially in RBI situations. Then generally it'll be a slider off towards the outside part of the plate. The very next one.
Renfroe does have 6 career grand slams. The Angels have only hit 2 this year. Gio Urshela had that one in April in Boston, and Shohei hit one the other day. Chabot ahead of Renfroe, no balls, 2 strikes.
And this is probably going to be away again.
Took it for ball 1. Swing and a miss.
It's the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan. Off Base, with interviews and coverage of baseball's hottest stars.
I've done a couple interviews in my life. This probably is the most fun I've ever been a part of.
Only on MLB Network. Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big-name guests.
Very special guest hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It is absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans and baseball players wake up to.
The show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh.
This is Garrett Cole. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Garrett Cole plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Play. We're talking about triples and some speed and different ways of getting there to third base. De La Cruz, the long strides. Luis Rengifo, the shorter strides, but sliding in there himself with a triple. De La Cruz, that long stride, gets in there for his triple, his 6th of the season. And Luis Rengifo picked up his 4th. Both showing the wheels, getting triple.
Ellie De La Cruz has the 3 fastest triples of any major leaguer this year. The one he had earlier in this game didn't even register in the top 10. Though he was flying around the bases. Rengifo with a triple as well. And here's Kenny Rosenberg, who was put back on the roster today to be the 27th man. Presumably he'll pitch the last couple of innings here and try to keep the Angels in this game. They are only down by 4. Just had the time run at the plate to end the bottom of the 7th.
Rosenberg has a very, very, very good changeup. Turns this circle changeup over, works it down and away against a right-handed batter.
Rosenberg out of Cal State Northridge, originally in the Rays system. He was picked up off waivers by the Angels before last year. Pitched in a few big league games last year, and he's kind of had a similar role this year where he's been stashed in the minor leagues waiting for an opportunity. This one hit hard past Rengifo on a base hit. Encarnacion Strand smacks it up the middle.
Even with Rengifo playing up the middle, this baseball was hit hard enough. It's on that shortstop side of the bag. It gets by him. Baseball hit 103.9 miles per hour, and that hits that dirt and skips and quicker.
Martini hits another one on the nose. Just hasn't had the ball carry for him today. He's flied out twice now. Pneumonia. One out. Will Benson will bat. Benson with a single and a run scored his last time. He's 1 for 3.
Think about a majority of pitches that Rosenberg will throw. A lot of them are changeups. Usually we'll try this to elevate fastball for effect to set up his changeup. This might be a time we might try that, or try to get a chase below the zone with his changeup.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Rosenberg with a fastball up and in, and Benson strikes out.
After throwing those changeup, he's looking off speed. He tied him up. Fastball inside at 92.
So 2 down. Now the batter is Maley, who is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Reds have 8 runs on 8 hits today. The Angels have 4 runs on 8 hits. Maley loops one towards center. Moniak moves over for it. And the scoreless top of the 8th for Kenny Rosenberg.
See it.
He struck him out. It's out of here.
Feel it.
I can't wait for this game to start. He took a home run away.
Live it.
That is as good as it gets.
The big plays.
The beauty of sports is when the hero comes through.
Yeah, the tense moments.
We have an update we must show you.
With live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
That might be what it takes to win. MLB Tonight on MLB Network.
The 8th inning as the Reds, thanks to 6 RBIs from Elly De La Cruz, have the lead, trying to win this series. The Reds, every game important to them. They have a huge series in Arizona coming up, then San Francisco. The Giants are winning today.
Looks like they held off the Phillies. The Phillies had some base runners, but they were able to pull that last game of that 3-game set in Philly.
5-2. That game heads to the 9th inning. Diamondbacks, they're off today. Miami trying to hang in. They lost to the Padres. Marlins are 12-24 since the All-Star break. They have really faded fast.
Remember, they were a team who won a lot of those close 1-run games early on.
And they started the season with 12 straight 1-run wins. It's not something that is sustainable. They've still won over 70% of their 1-run games this year. It's another hit for Mickey Moniak, his 3rd today.
So Rengifo with 3 hits and Moniak with 3 hits.
Angels have 9 hits. This game started with Shohei Ohtani on the mound. He struck out 2 hitters in a scoreless top of the 1st. Then he obliterated a 2-run homer in the bottom of the first, but it was a short-lived appearance from Shohei today, both on the mound and at the plate. As Mike Moustakas comes off the bench to bat here for Andrew Velasquez. Arm fatigue took Shohei out of this game in the second inning.
And the Moose chants in the ballpark, already a fan favorite. Moustakas.
It took all of about 12 seconds for Moustakas to be a fan favorite. Remember that series against the Astros really kind of established Moustakas with the fan base, that first series after the All-Star break. Had some big hits in that series against Houston. Traded back to his home area from the Rockies toward the end of June, right after that historic offensive performance the Angels put up at Coors Field.
8 home runs, slugging .469 as an Angel.
Twice as many home runs as an Angel than he did with Colorado. He certainly performed at a high level. Two balls and 2 strikes. Jabot still out there for the Reds, the 4th reliever used by David Bell in this game. Sort of a short start from Andrew Abbott, who recorded 12 outs, worked 4+ innings. And the Angels were fortunate to have Tyler Anderson in a long relief role today behind Shohei, as he worked 4 2/3 innings. So the Angels haven't asked for much out of their bullpen today. You kind of combine Anderson and Shohei into one start. It was 6 innings.
Go back to Moustakas. He's done such a good job of using the whole field. He stayed back on that changeup pretty well to try to punch that ball to left field. Still quick enough on something inside.
Moustakas strikes out on a high fastball, and Jabot has struck out 2 of the 3 that he has faced. 1 away.
Rengifo a chance here now. You know, he's ultra aggressive on the first pitch. Not a cutter's first pitch for Jabot, so you just got to be quick on the inside part if he throws that cutter first pitch.
Rengifo, if he goes deep here, will have hit for the cycle. He has doubled, he has singled, he has tripled. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Also a walk and a run scored in the first inning. He scored on Shohei's home run.
A couple runs scored today for Rengifo, an RBI.
He strikes out as well, and that's 2 down.
Shonewall trying to put the ball in play here. 3 walks, 3 plate appearances.
Fouled off by Shonewall, so that brief hitting streak that he has had to start his major league career still intact, as he has had 3 official plate appearances and they've all resulted in walks. That would be the case if he walks again here and just carry over to the next games. Now it's kind of the one chance to extend that hitting streak to start his career. As he takes ball one. It was this year at Florida Atlantic University where Shonowell walked 71 times and struck out only 14. He walked twice as much as he struck out in the minor leagues too. So all told for his season, between collegiate ball, the minor leagues, and the major leagues, Shonowell has walked 95 times while striking out just 27 times. Grounds this ball softly. Encarnacion Strand dives for it. Throw to first. Not in time. So the hitting streak will continue. You know, had Encarnacion Strand just let that ball roll, McLean would have fielded it.
Yeah, that's going to end up being a pretty close to a routine play, but he dove for that baseball, and because of that, Shonowell was able to pick up an infield hit.
There will be an error for the throw to first that allowed Moniak to end up at third. So Encarnacion Strand straying away pretty far from first base. The Angels inning continues here as Shonowell now has a 5-game hitting streak to begin his major league career. First Angel to do that since Kendrys Morales in 2006. Also has drawn 5 walks in his first 5 games. That ties an Angels record set by Tom Bernansky.
Boy, Bruno had a great career. A world championship with the Minnesota Twins.
He was only with the Angels at the very beginning of his career. Then he was traded for Doug Corbett and Rob Wilfong in May of 1982. That's when he started to hit his home runs, became an all-star for the Twins. 2 balls, no strikes on Drury. And for a brief moment in time, Bernansky was an Angel in 1981. Two balls, no strikes on Drury. It's a fly ball. This one won't carry. It's Ciani. So it is Ciani out there in center field making the catch to end the inning.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party. Oh, with live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's money.
What? The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake. That is awesome.
MLB Tonight. Late nights on MLB Network.
Strikeouts, although his velocity was noticeably lower than usual. Not his exit velocity, though. He crushed a home run in the bottom of the first inning. At the top of the second, he would leave the game. The Angels described it as arm fatigue. Not seen Shohei since then. He popped into the dugout briefly, but he has not batted since then. And we'll see if he's even available for Game 2 of the doubleheader tonight before the team heads to New York. Catch Angels live postgame brought to you by OC Navigator to find out more about Shohei's status for Game 2 of the doubleheader. As we get to the top of the 9th inning, and here is Michael Ciani from Philadelphia, PA, leading off. We missed it last night. Ciani went to Penn Charter High School, the same high school as the man sitting to my right, and he actually went there based on a scholarship that Gooby started in name of his father, Anthony. And here's Michael Ciani in a big league game that you're calling.
Yeah, it's such a special moment for me to be able to see Michael get a chance to be able to swing the bat here and finally see him at home here out in California.
You guys had a chance yesterday to hang out a little bit by the cage.
Philly strong, Philly strong.
Well, of course you had to say that.
Oh, I just slipped out. It's in case Mike Trout was listening in on that one too. I had to keep that in there.
There's a strike to Ciani. He's 24 years old. Drafted by the Reds right out of Penn Charter High School back in 2018. He's got a lot of speed. Maybe he'll have a chance to show it off as he draws a leadoff walk here in the top of the 9th.
Yeah, he wrote a nice letter when he was able to graduate high school and eventually got drafted by Cincinnati. Just thank me and be able to have that scholarship fund set up in my dad's name. That was pretty special.
What is the process for that scholarship? How do you find the
well,
kid?
It's usually kids from my area back in Philadelphia, Roxborough, Manayunk area, where some kids might not be able to afford to be able to go to a school like Penn Charter and set that up just for the sole purpose. It didn't have to be just for athletics. It's kids from that area to be able to go to a great school like William Penn Charter.
Ruben Amaro Jr., former Philly and a former Philly general manager, right there as well.
Dave Montgomery, former Philly president of the club before he's passed away recently, went to Penn Charter too, and of course Matt Ryan, who has had a tremendous NFL career.
Matt Ryan's going to be doing what you're doing now.
Yes. And of course the Goldbergs TV show.
Well, in case you're wondering, nobody famous went to my high school. Might just be me. Pickoff attempt, and Ciani able to be thrown out. Looked like he was able to get back to the bag, but he kind of overslid second base.
And head first slide, it gets to the base, but ended up keep going. This momentum takes him, and Renifo keeps that tag on him. You see that foot off the bag. Tried to do the swim move to get back in there.
Two balls, two strikes on McLean. One of the kids from Shameless went to my high school. It might be the.
There you go.
Might be the gold medal winner.
Great kid though, Mike, and his brother Sammy also awarded a scholarship fund. He's with the Pittsburgh Pirates in the minor league system.
It's a pretty cool thing that you do, and great way to give back to your community for sure. Ball 4 to McLean, so Rosenberg's walked the first 2 in the inning, although Ciani was caught stealing. Give De La Cruz another at bat. He has driven in 6 runs today. Three-run homer in the 5th, 3-run triple in the 7th. De La Cruz really has been the headliner for the Reds in both games so far in this series. Still one more later tonight. That'll be starting around 6:30. Saw Lucas Giolito have a lot of success against the Reds with his changeup yesterday, and De La Cruz way out in front of that one.
And one thing, you know, you see that he'll chase that changeup below the zone, but Reed Devers doesn't throw a lot of changeups, although we see him throw a few more. That might be a pitch he might want to try to throw in game 2 today.
Now McLean is running, throw to second base, and he has his steals. The Reds, who lead the majors in that category, get another from McLean, his 12th. McLean has already scored 3 runs in this game, now in scoring position again. Someone just tweeted at us that Roger Lodge went to their high school, so that's a feather in their cap for sure.
Oh, no question.
That's prime time. An A-lister. Time called. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count on De La Cruz.
See if we get him to chase a changeup down. He's been all over anything as far as fastball variety.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Ellie De La Cruz. 3-run homer, 3-run triple. Well, he's the player of the game, brought to you by Toyota. He takes strike 3 called, so De La Cruz has also struck out 3 times in this game.
That's a good changeup for Kenny Rosenberg. It's that inside corner. Hoppy, you can see that I talk about those quiet hands. He just brings that in there just enough, not where you see a lot of movement in the glove. Just brings it in there to make sure the presentation of that pitch being in the strike zone. Impressive for a young catcher.
A strike to Steer. Steer has a couple of hits, including an RBI. A lot of kids from Milliken High School in Long Beach here today. Steer got a piece of that to stay alive. Angels in the bottom of the 9th will have Hoppy, Grichuk, and Escobar due up. They'll try to get closer. The Reds have Fernando Cruz up in their bullpens. They'll try to hold on to it without using Alexis Diaz, trying to save him for the nightcap.
A couple different times now. Rosenberg, that fastball upstairs, just a little above the strike zone. That usually means he'll probably go back to his changeup.
The Phillies just tied the Giants. A little blooper, that falls for a base hit. Steer put that in no man's land. His 3rd hit brings home McLean, so that connection of Angel fans bites the home team again. McLean has scored 4 times, and it is 9-4. Bryce Harper hit a 3-run homer off Camilo Doval. All of a sudden, there's an issue with Doval. His last handful of outings, he's been touched up.
He's still running up that cutter at 100+ miles an hour, but if it flattens out, it becomes hittable. A couple more walks in that game before that 3-run home run.
Doval has now given up the lead in each of his last 4 outings for San Francisco. He has had 7 blown saves this year, and 4 of them have come in the last couple of weeks. I just wonder too, the way the Giants have managed their pitching staff. They're not getting any length from anybody except for Logan Webb and Alex Cobb.
You're using a starter quite a bit. Their bullpen.
Well, they use those bulk inning guys, but even so, they use them 3, 4, 5 innings at a time. Nobody's really giving them 6, 7, 8 innings, even on accident, for having one starter do that from time to time. They're not even giving themselves that opportunity. Gabe Kapler's always running to the mound. You know, we saw it here with Sean Manaea. He only gave up 1 hit. And as soon as he gave it up, well, here came Gabe, goes out to the mound. He takes Manaea out, and then Shohei punishes him for it.
That's one thing with bullpen arms. Eventually, if you get in there enough, we're seeing that with Cincinnati so far. It's been okay for him, but a lot of appearances, a lot of up and downs that sometimes you're not even in games.
Now this game heads to the bottom of the 9th. It's 9-4 Cincinnati.
If you love baseball, you need to watch Baseball Show of Record, MLB Tonight.
We've got a bunch of games kicking off.
Who gets you ready to start the evening? These guys.
With Harold Reynolds, I'm Adnan Burke. Good to have you with us.
Join Harold and Adnan for a first look at the night's matchups.
Shohei Ohtani. We're going to talk about this guy forever.
First take from the players.
Oh, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
And the first of many breakdowns.
Let's put this in perspective.
Then, as your game night continues, stay tuned for the ultimate late-night baseball party. With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
MLB Tonight takes you live inside the park.
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
That is awesome.
This one takes the cake.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
Exactly. You can't top that.
MLB Tonight, every night on MLB Network.
And now it's time for going back to our Hyundai Kia for the game today. The Grand Illusion. It started out well with Shohei Ohtani with 2 strikeouts in the top of the first. Hit a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first. But then it's all Cincinnati since that point. See if he can make that comeback here in the bottom of the 9th inning as Cincinnati added on another run, leading 9-4. Hoppy base hit his last at bat, trying to get it started, put some pressure. Fernando Cruz, his 45th game also. Amazing how many games and appearances for the guys out of the bullpen here for Cincinnati.
Logan O'Hoppe leading off the bottom of the 9th against Fernando Cruz, who does get a lot of strikeouts. He has struck out 72 in 50 innings. There's another strikeout for Cruz. O'Hoppe goes down to begin the bottom of the 9th.
That was a splitter that was upstairs a little bit, not exactly where you usually see a splitter thrown.
The Reds like their bullpen. They just don't have really any sort of veteran that you can count on. It's kind of been through the wars. Buck Farmer's probably the guy that has done the most in his big league career. Derek Law a little bit, but nobody that you say, well, you know, that guy is going to get the job done in a big spot late in the season, late in the game.
See that
you don't need it
down in Tampa over the years.
Yeah.
They just keep bringing in some new arms and have been successful with their bullpens.
There's a ball hit well by Grichuk toward left field. Benson got a good jump and makes the catch stepping onto the warning track. Some solid contact from Grichuk, but 2 up, 2 down.
He was on that one. You got back quickly, a good angle to be able to run that one down just in front of that 390 sign in left center field.
And Cruz, not a young guy, as Escobar bats. He's 33 years old. So rookie last year at age 32. He was actually drafted by the Royals in 2007 as a shortstop. He played an independent ball for a while. It's a long road for Fernando Cruz to get to the big leagues. Sometimes you just never know how.
We said it so often. That's the beauty of baseball. There's so many of these incredible stories where it takes forever to get here, but you just keep playing and keep hoping to live your dream, and here you are.
That's it. We see it from time to time. Padres kind of had it last year with Robert Suarez. It became a big piece in their bullpen down the stretch. Had a little sticky substance ejection today, though, did Suarez, so he'll be out for the next 10 days.
Padres won that game today. They shut out.
Yeah, it took 2 out of 3 from Miami.
That's a team where we just keep talking about it. They just can't understand how they've been struggling. Their pitching's been good. They're deep in their offense, defense solid, but just find a way to lose games.
This will end it. Cruz gets to the bag to beat Escobar, and the Cincinnati Reds ride the coattails of Elly De La Cruz. He drove in 6, and the Reds defeat the Angels for a second straight game, 9-4. They will play one more game later tonight. We'll have Angels Live pregame at 6 o'clock. Right now, Angels Live postgame is coming up. Mark Gubaza, Erica Weston, and our entire crew will talk to you very soon. The Reds win game 1 of the doubleheader at 9-4.